What's good? What's good? Yeah. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Well, I know what's going on, but I don't know, man. Is weird. I feel like it a little bit has to do with the energy I'm building because every when I look back at like it just I don't know what's going on. I just came back from the 7-Eleven. I went and got me some ice, right? And like this stupid nigger bitch just has it. I don't know what it is, but like the more peace you develop within, I'm noticing a pattern with a lot of external, like, I don't want to say disturbance because none of it's disturbing me, but I'm observing it and I'm aware of it. But I'm noticing the more I develop a certain level of peace and calmness within, the more people try to test you. That's what I'm starting to like see. I don't even want to say that's it. I want like because I was thinking about this shit like a couple weeks ago. Like I don't know. I would say probably like a couple weeks ago. This shit started happening, and I'm thinking of it having because around the time where I can feel this happening is when I'm feeling like because when you're doing qigong and building energy, the energy builds slowly over time, and I'm noticing like the last few weeks the energy has really been building. I've been really feeling it because the longer you do it, the more you feel it, and I've been really feeling the energy, and I'm noticing around it. I don't even want to say that it's around the time, but I'm just. It seems kind of similar. Like I noticed as around this the last couple weeks, I've been getting a lot of like negative just energy, like in terms of other individuals, nothing to do with me, other individuals. And this wasn't happening before. Like when I tell you guys all of this shit, I'm not just speaking. I'm talking from a perspective and a basis on how I was feeling 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Because like I said, I'm documenting everything I'm doing when it comes to this qigong energy, and I'm noticing like the last couple weeks, my energy's been really, really on another level, and it lines up where it lines up with the same energy of a lot of external influence trying to come my way to just disrupt me. Like example, I was in 7-Eleven getting ice. First of all, I went in there. This is one black nigga. He asked me for $1. I wasn't even gonna give no dollar to him because I didn't even, I went in there to go buy my gas. I didn't even want to go get gas at the 7-Eleven because it's too expensive compared to the other place. So I was like, let me just put $5 in here till I get to the other place. Then I'll put more gas because I'm not paying their fucking prices for that cheap ass 7-Eleven gas. I might as well go to Chevron or somewhere. So I was gonna go in there and to get gas. I go in, and when I was going in there, the guy in a car, he's sleeping with his kid and his wife or something, and they're home. He's like, "Oh, can I get $1 for you?" And I was like, "Oh, let me go. I don't got change. Let me go in there and get $1 for you." And he's like, "Oh, thank you." And I went in there, and as I go in there, the moment I went in there, the stupid nappy headed ass bitch looking at me like looking at like I go in there right, and usually they'll say, "Can I help you?" I go in there, this stupid bitch is just like looking at me like this, like she's retarded or she got fucking hit with a retard stick or some shit. Like just looking at me, and I'm like, "Can I get 5 on pump 2?" And then she's quiet, and then she goes over there and shit, and like she just has an attitude for no fucking reason. And mind you, this is an angry, bitter, old ass black bitch. She's all sitting there like, okay, and then she puts the fucking 5 on there, and I was like, "Can I get 5 ones?" Because I wanted to give the homeless guy, no, the guy who was living in his car with the wife in there. I was like, I was gonna give him $1. Can I get 5 ones? She's like, "We don't got ones." And I was like, the way after that, because before she had an attitude, but I played it off. But when she's like, "We don't got ones," I was like, "You niggas don't got shit." And I got the receipt. I threw it at her, and then she's like, "Don't come back here." And like, I didn't even care because I don't even go on that side of town. And this was like hella early in the morning. She only works there in the morning. And I was like, and she's like, "Don't come back here." And I'm like, "Bitch, shut your nappy, ugly ass up. You gonna work at 7-Eleven the rest of your fucking life, bitch." And then that's what, and she got mad. She's like, "Don't come back here. Don't come back here." And then when I went out, I told the dude, like, I couldn't give you $1. And then before this happened, the dude who was homeless, he went in the store while I was making a transaction and he needed to use the bathroom. And this is what really pissed me off about this bitch. which made me cuss her out. Because this is before I told this bitch, like, you gonna work at 7-Eleven, you a nappy headed ass. This is before that. The dude went in there when I was doing a transaction with this stupid bitch, and she's like, oh, can I use the bathroom? She's like, oh, we don't got a bathroom. Even though they got one, she could have let him use it. And she's like, oh, can I get a cup? And she's like, oh, we charge for the cup. I go into the 7-Eleven all the time, and not that stupid dingy ass bitch, but the other bitch, she'll give me cups for free all the time for ice. They don't charge for ice. The nigga was like, can I have a cup? I gotta use the bathroom, man. And there's, you guys locked the bathroom. She's like, oh, we charge for the cup. And the guy's like, oh, you do? And he was in a good, he had a good spirit too. That's why I gave him actually $5 because the bitch didn't give me one. So when she just gave me the $5, I cussed her ass out. He heard me cussing her out. He was laughing, and I was like, here, just take this $5 because she wouldn't give me a one because she said that they don't have it. I don't know what store doesn't have ones. I can see change, but ones, like, come on. So that what made me want to give him $5, because if it was me, I would have just pissed on the side of the building if I had to go. He had the decency to not do that and ask for a bathroom. Like me, I'm the type of motherfucker, I would just go piss on the side of the building, or I'll just go up in there and I would have just grabbed the cup and I would have just pissed in the cup and then threw the piss on the building. Or so I would have done the most. But he had the decency, he had the respect to not do that. That's what made me want to give him $5. And then when I seen this bitch having an attitude, I'm like, this is why I cussed her the fuck out. I cussed her out. I was like, you stupid dumbass bitch. She got all mad, like, don't come back here. And I was like, whatever. And I threw some shit on the ground, and then she's all looking at me, and then I pumped my gas, and then I threw the fucking gas thing on the ground. I'm like, bitch, you gotta clean all this shit up. Pick all this shit up, because you didn't have to have this attitude. And it's so weird, because it's like, ever since I'm developing this inner calmness, I noticed, like, when you start doing any type of practice that's developing inner calmness, you're going to notice a lot of external influences that are going to try to disrupt you, try to take you off your path. You need to don't be swayed by them. These are miserable people. People can only project how you are. Mind you, I deal with people every day. So when you see an individual that wants to be a piece of shit, don't think that that's everyone. Always look at it from projection. Like, for example, if I went into the 7-Eleven to get ice. The first thing this bitch did was look at me and have an attitude. There's nothing wrong with me, because I go to other places and I get ice, and people have conversations, sometimes friendly. People they're in their own world. They don't care. So it's nothing to do with me. So when I went in there, she's looking at me. Obviously, she's miserable. She's upset. But the thing was about with me is, if you bring that energy to me, I'm going to make you even more miserable and upset. So that's why it was the wrong thing. So if you have a bad day and you bring it on me, I'm going to make you have a worse day, because I'm going to show you, I'm like a Pisces. A Pisces acts as a mirror. So they will show you, whether subconsciously or consciously, they will show you what you need to see. So the fact that I cussed her out, and it's a full moon today. So you got to look at it from perspective. It's a full moon, and I cussed her ass out. So from her perspective, she manifested that situation, because I didn't go in there starting trouble. I went in there in a chill vibe. I wasn't going to do nothing. She was the one denied a homeless person from using a bathroom. Didn't even let him get a cup, even though they give cups for free there. I've got cups for there. He could have pissed on the side of the building. He didn't, even after he left, he didn't even do that. That's why I was like, let me just give this dude $5 and shit. But like I was saying, it's all about projection. The stupid bitch is all projecting her own negative emotions on me. No, don't project your shit onto me, bitch. But it is what it is. I just look at it like I know I'm doing something right, because this shit is starting to get out of hand. Like, I'm noticing, like, even like, and not even just with this situation, just on average, when I'm walking in public. When you walk in public, do not look at nobody in the eye. Do not look, especially when you're building this energy. I feel like there's something with the Qigong energy, because this shit started happening within the last couple weeks. Ever since I started developing, like, because when you do Qigong, there's different levels of it. You build energy slowly, and each month you're growing. The last 2-3 weeks, I'll say probably like 2 weeks, I've been noticing a lot of external resistance, and not external resistance, external, like, because things are working in my life. I don't have a problem with anything in terms of getting what I need to get, and that's not the issue. I'm talking about as in, I'm minding my business, or I'm engaging in the world like normal, and then motherfuckers want to have an attitude or look at me a certain way. This just has been happening to me the last couple of weeks, and it correlates when I'm starting to when it correlated the exact time or around the time where I'm starting to develop this inner calmness that I never had before. And I know it was a result of my Qigong. So it's like motherfuckers can pick up on the aura and then they wanna fuck up your vibe because they know you're vibing high and it's subconscious. I don't know what it is, but all I gotta tell you guys is be careful when do not look at nobody in the face. Don't just engage. A lot of these planets, like I told you guys, Neptune is going into Aries next month. Next month is a big month. Venus is going to be in Aries, the moon's going to be in Aries, and it's going to be conjuncting Neptune, and Neptune's going to be in Aries. So, and then we got Saturn in Aries in May. So there's a lot of Aries energy, and then we got the sun in Aries. So what all this Aries energy means is we're moving for this. This is why everybody on the internet is talking about building. Nobody's just talking and just being, oh, I want to talk about what happened, or I want to talk about spirituality. That's Piscean. We going into a lot of this Aries energy. So what comes with Aries is action, starting shit. So if you're not about shit, it's going to be a problem. No one's going to take you seriously if you're just talking, if you're not doing shit. This is why you see YouTube starting to kind of falter in terms of the content is dry. It's not that the content is still the same content. It's just nobody wants to watch the same content because what are you fucking doing? So with all this Aries energy, this is going to have two types of people. People who are going to be on the positive of Aries and create something new, because everyone's going to be participating in it, but they're going to create something new, or they're going to be on the lower octave of Aries, which is going to be wanting to start fights, wanting to argue, wanting to be a bitch ass nigga. This is why I tell you guys, like, when we get into this Aries energy, you're going to have to kind of guard your energy. And if may be, you may need to have a strap on you or a knife or some bear spray to protect, because we going into a lot of people are angry right now, especially they have this nigga in the office, Trump and whatever. A lot of people are very upset, plus what they doing. So I can feel the energy. A lot of people are very angry and upset, and they're not actually bettering their lives. They're trying to project it, thinking that's gonna make them feel better. So people are going batshit crazy right now, and I can see it kind of starting to build up. So once we fully get into this Aries energy, you're gonna have to be careful who you're around, what you say against people, because it's going to be a lot more easier to start a fight, to start a war, because Aries is war. So don't just think about war like the United States and all that other shit, which that could be it too. But war also means human beings fighting, human beings, or spiritual warfare, arguments, fights, people thinking that they know everything and I'm the one. And even self-reliant, being self-reliant, that's a good thing. But there are some people who can't be self-reliant because they don't have the ability to be self-reliant because they're lacking in other things. So this is going to lead to them having to leech to be self-reliant, or they're going to not know how to be self-reliant, and they're going to act in because all this Aries is self-reliant and initiating and shit. So this is why the energy is changing. So this is why I'm telling you guys, be careful. At this point, there's nothing that you can do that's going to make you look crazy, other than pretty much not living in your authenticity. If you're not doing that, if you don't have a daily practice, it doesn't have to be Qigong, yoga, whatever, but if you're not doing something every day that's correlated to your path and growth, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. It's going to be hell for you. This is why you're seeing a lot of the mental illness in society starting to fester, and it's starting to you're starting to see it more. Because as these planets get into Aries energy, we're leaving Earth and we're leaving air. We're leaving that. So we're leaving Earth and water. We're leaving that. So all of that emotion and your feelings and this, and I want to learn about something so I can prepare for my future. Preparing for the future, that's earth and water. Growing a seed and planting. That's just done, nigga. Your future should be here right now. I'm not saying you don't prepare, but this is going to be a different type of preparing now. It's going to be more like a prepare, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Not like a graceful prepare, because we're in water and fire, right? Or air and fire this year. So the way the world is going to be, it's a different game. I don't want to say it's too late to get your shit together, but it's not conducive. This energy isn't as it's always conducive to get your shit together because there's nothing else to do but do that. But we're at a time where you should have been doing that the past years. We're at a time where everything's supposed to be initiated. So a lot of people right now, because astrology affects everyone, even if you don't believe in it. So you're going to see a lot of the reason you see a lot of anger and war, and it's not just because Saturn's in Aries. Oh, Saturn's in Aries. People feel like they want to fight and argue, and we gotta protect it. No, it's because of something. Because if that was the case, everybody would be that energy. Some people are going to be the higher level of Aries. Some people are going to be the lower octave of the astrology. The people in the lower octave who are going to be showing you the signs of the negative, that's because they didn't do certain shit. So now they're in a predicament where they're going to feel that things are going to be happening in their personal life that they can't explain other than it's because of Donald Trump or some fake ass God, not because of their lack of willpower. So as a result, they're going to get upset, angry, and they're going to retaliate. They're going to act a certain way, act funny, all of this shit. Like the bitch that I had an argument. I seen her working at 7-Eleven a year ago. You an old ass bitch and you still working at 7-Eleven. Still, you haven't done anything with your life but that. So that's why you're upset. That's why you're angry at me. Because I deal with people on a daily basis. And according to the position in life they're in and what they're doing, it shows me they're angry. When I see somebody, because I can pick up cues. When I see a motherfucker, they're not shit in their life, they're upset, they're miserable. Like at the Borders I was at. That was at the mall the other day. Every time I go to that fucking Borders, it's always an addict. I've been going to that Borders for ever since I moved to this city, which has probably been a year and a half ago. And about a year and a half. It's the same people. Probably like one person's different, but everybody else is the same people. When I went there, the customer service was horrible. Every time you ask for like a cup of ice, water, or whatever, like even if you don't even ask for nothing, you go in there, they just have an attitude. They look at you like a certain way, and they're like this is one fucking like dyke. You could tell like she's fucking mentally disturbed because first of all, she looks like a fucking dude. She's a dyke, so she's a tomboy, so she has some type of trauma to obviously fuck her brain signals up, so it's not functioning right. So she has the desire to dress like a man. So I already could tell she's mentally ill because she's a fucking dyke. So she must have been traumatized or had some type of negative experiences dealing with men. Probably she was raped, whatever. So now she hates fucking men, but wants to be like one. So that bitch has been working there the whole fucking time. They put a lock on the bathroom. And I asked the bitch, can I go use the bathroom? She's like, oh, yeah, you can use the bathroom. Hold on, let me get in. I was like, what's the password to the bathroom? And shout out to Moody Mercury. I'm gonna read all the comments after. I want to just tell the story because it's just interesting. I asked her, can I use the bathroom? What's the code to the bathroom? And she's like, I'll go enter the code for you. And I was like, okay. I thought it was normal. Everyone gets to enter the code. The place is a big place and people come in and out. So it didn't, at that point I should have been like, it doesn't make sense because there's so many people going to this bathroom. For them to be always having to tap in the code doesn't make sense because this is a big store and it's a big mall. Well, not a big mall, but it's a lot of people come to that mall. So when I seen it, I didn't think anything of it. And this was one day. So I went to the bathroom and I remember somebody came in and I didn't hear none of the workers enter. It was just the dude by himself. I was like, why did they give me the password? And they didn't give him. And I asked the guy, like, did they give you the password? And he's like, it was just open. And then I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, oh, maybe they did. But when he said it was open, he meant it as he used a password and it was open. But I didn't think anything of it. I'll say fast forward like a week later, like a couple days ago, but a week later from when that incident happened, I go ask the people, can I use the bathroom? She's all like, oh, I have to go open it. She was with, when she told me she needs to go open it, she was with another customer. The customer's like, hey, it's 2025. Because I guess he used it. So I was like, wow, they're giving people shit. That pissed me off. And I was like, why the fuck did they do that? It doesn't make sense. And then when I went to the bathroom, I took a shit. And before I tell you what happened, I'm gonna tell you, when I was in the bathroom, a fucking homeless person went in there talking to himself on drugs. He entered the password. They gave him the fucking password. A fucking dude went in there. He was homeless. He went in the fucking bathroom talking to himself, walking, pacing back and forth. So they put the lock on there for those type of people, but somehow they let him in it, but they were telling me to put the password. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. So I fucked up that whole bathroom. I pissed all, you know what I have you know when the seat covers where you put over the toilet so you don't want to get dirty. I fucking pissed all over the seat covers. I took them out. I stuffed them in the toilet to clog it up. And there was a little thing, a little compartment where they keep the cleaning supplies. I took a big deuce in the fucking cleaning supply. Like my whole shit that I need to take a huge shit. My whole shit that I was gonna take, I just took it in that thing. So it was a whole bunch of shit. And I smeared that shit all over the motherfucking place. I fucked that whole fucking borders up. I'm like, you want to do this? Then I'm gonna give you a reason. And I'm glad I did. This was yesterday. It was right before the full moon, so I timed it perfectly. So now they're gonna even feel the energy of that even more. Because if I would have done it on a regular day, they still would have felt it. But the fact I did it by the full moon, you know, it's gonna hit them even harder. So I fucked that shit up because I wouldn't have done that. I'm not like, oh, I'm just trying to do that. I'm trying to be respectful. I gave the dude $5 today, and he only asked me for $1. And the only reason I gave him $5 because the bitch wouldn't give me change. So I just, here, take this $5, and I just left. So I'm not like I'm not out to like be a dickhead. I'm just trying to be peaceful. But this world isn't peaceful because people refuse to take accountability. Like Moody Mercury said, people don't want to take accountability. So when you're dealing with people who don't take accountability, if you're dealing with people and they haven't taken accountability in their life, even if you deal with them a little bit, you're going to be dealing with their bullshit. So if somebody doesn't want to do shadow work and you're around them all the time, or you have to deal with them, you're going to be dealing with their lack of shadow work. And that's the problem. Like, people don't want to do the shadow work because the way social media and the internet has programmed everyone, they program everyone that lack of shadow work is a white man being racist, or Donald Trump raising the fucking price of Cheerios, or some dumb shit. Whereas none of that has nothing to do with, none of that's important. And anybody who talks about it that's important, ask them what's the solution. And then the only solution they'll tell you is to get people aware of it. Like, bitch, when you go to the store and your fucking card declines because you're a broke ass bitch, that's awareness. I don't need no dumbass talking head on YouTube telling me the economy's bad, bitch. Go to the fucking store and try to get what you want and not be able to get it, or barely. That's awareness. Everybody fucking been through that shit. And if you haven't been through it, that means you doing good financially, and it ain't your fucking problem. Worry about something else before it becomes your problem, and stop taking on other people's problem. That's how it should be. So you're not trying to wake anyone up. That's why I say this whole internet shit is all bullshit. People are just dumb as fuck, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm fucking tired of this shit, man. Like, people's lack of shadow work, not taking accountability. This shit's really, it's getting me fed up because they try to make it look like it's that's the thing that gets me so upset. When a motherfucker tries to make their problem your problem. Like, bitch, you're upset. You're miserable. I'm good. I'm fine. When I come into your atmosphere, your environment, your little weak ass fucking aura field, it's a problem. That's nothing to do with me, because before I met you, it was good. You ever met those people who, like, right when you meet them, they're so overly like, hey man, I'm not trying to have no problem. I'm not trying to have every 2 fucking words that come out their mouth. I'm trying to make sure everything's cool. Ain't gonna have no problem. Those are people who have a lot of problems. Those are the people who come into a room and they'll say, oh, everything, I'm trying to make everything is, they'll come into a room and they'll make everything worse, but think they're making it better. Libras have a good way of doing that, because the Libras are balanced, and all the Libras in my family that are like relative, they show this, like, because Libras have to create balance. So if everything is peaceful, they have to create balance for negativity, and it could be vice versa. But when you talk about low octave, so those are the type of people. They try so hard because they focus outwardly instead of inwardly. So they will manifest situations while thinking that they're not the problem, because these are people who are so focused externally. So this is why, like, you got to be careful when you're around certain individuals. And like me, I shouldn't even gave into the bitch's energy. But what pissed me off is when she denied that homeless person for him to use a bath. That's what kind of set me off. And before, I had a run-in with her, and she had an attitude for no fucking reason. Like, when I see somebody has an attitude with me for no reason, I push it away at first. But once I keep seeing it, It's like you have it like a fly comes buzzing you. You're like, get the fuck away from me, and then you go do your thing, and then it keeps buzzing you. Get the fuck away from me, it keeps buzzing. Then you gotta get the spray and spray it. That's how I do it. Like somebody shows me negative energy, I push it away, and I try to like ignore it, even though I know it's there. I ignore it. Well, I just push it away and purposely ignore it. Not ignoring it out of like I'm dumb or I'm just trying to let it go or I'm naive. No, I know it's there, but like let me just ignore it because maybe it was a mistake on their part. Once it goes up twice or more than once, that's when I just get upset. When it was that other bitch, she had an attitude with me before. I deal with people at that 7-Eleven. Everyone's normal. Normal. I'm not gonna say it's just normal. But when I dealt with her last time, she was like, "Oh, I forgot what it was. I forgot what the fuck it was, but it was a problem, and she wouldn't let me do it. But there was another time I did the same thing, and it wasn't a problem. So why every time I see your ugly, fucking nappy headed ass, fucking trash ass face, it's a problem or something that I can't do? Even like the homeless dude, he went in there. Oh, you can't use a bathroom. I want change. You don't have $1. So right there, she's projecting. So in her life, she's been rejected. She's been turned down. Opportunities have missed her life. Everything she wanted to do, she always missed the opportunity or she couldn't do it for whatever reason. So now she has to project that into other people's lives who are prosperous. The homeless dude, I gave him $5. He's prosperous. He's having a better day than her. She working at 7-Eleven at fucking 4 in the morning. Broke ass, bum ass bitch. So all the missed opportunities, all the lack and all the rejection and lack of energy in her life, she has to project on anyone with somebody else. So he wants to use a bathroom. Since nobody gave me shit in my life and I have opportunities turned down, I'm going to make sure he doesn't get to use a bathroom. Oh, you got to pay for the cut. Me, for example. Since I lacked opportunities and nothing ever worked out for me, and I'm an old ass gringy bitch working at fucking 7-Eleven at 3 in the morning, I'm gonna say that there's no I can't give you $5, 5 ones and dollars. There's always something because in her life she's never had shit, so she has to project that into other people and create situations that they don't have shit. But the thing is, whatever you don't that bitch, she doesn't have shit at all. So anything that you deny anybody is nothing. It's not like you're denying somebody something valuable because you don't have nothing of value, bitch. So her power ain't even strong. So even if you want to project that, your projection isn't strong because you can only deny people based on your value. So if you don't got $1,000,000, you can't tell somebody you can't have 1,000,000. You see what I'm saying? So she don't got shit. She don't got no energy. She don't got no spirituality. She don't got no physical. She a bum ass, old ass bitch working at fucking 7-Eleven at 4 in the morning. You don't got nothing. So you can't deny nobody's shit. The only thing you could deny somebody is not to use a bathroom. If I was that nigga, I would have pissed on the side of the fucking building. Oh, we don't have one. Bitch, I know you have one. She just didn't want to give me those fucking ones because she had an attitude. Because when I asked her, can I have one? She just had an attitude like, like, shit's crazy. That bitch is dumb as fuck, retarded. And it ain't just her. This is a lot of other individuals out here in this world. And so I got to tell you guys, we going into a time right now with these placements going into Aries. And I keep saying, there's many other placements, but these Aries, because Neptune's going to Aries, there's going to be an Aries stellium. Venus is going to be retrograde next month, I think in Aries. And it's going to Venus is going to cross over the moon, Neptune, and I don't know about Neptune, but it's going to be crossing over the moon, and it's going to be a stellium in Aries by the end of next month, and the sun. So we're going to be in the real new year. So it's going to be a lot of energy next month. Aries is very violent on a negative octave, and I speak negatively octaves because we're in a negative world for the most part. So we got to look at the negatives as well as the positives. Positive, you can initiate, you can start shit, and it's go mode. But on the negative spectrum of shit, and I'm gonna get to your comments real soon, guys. On the negative spectrum of shit, there's gonna be a lot of tit for tat, arguments, fights, people thinking like, even like now, I'm realizing like a lot of people giving me like fucking evil eye and negative. I don't even look at motherfuckers in the face now. I just go straight and do my thing. I don't even look at motherfuckers in the face. This is how it needs to be, unless you're gonna engage with somebody or you're gonna talk to them or whatever, because motherfuckers, they're going through it. They want you to look. When you look at somebody in the face and they give you an evil eye, you're pretty much giving them energy because they're upset and they're miserable and angry with their life, and they're too much of a pussy to go out and start trouble and I'm not saying you should start trouble or nothing, but they have to go out and wait for somebody to give them energy so they can try to do so. Don't even give them that gratification. Don't even look at them, like, just keep looking straight. When you keep looking, when a person who evil eyes you, when you walk past them and you don't look at them, that pisses them off because they don't have no way to express their anger. Anybody who gives you an evil eye is because they're angry because their life isn't going the way they want. That means something in their life happened. It's like, if I slap you in the face, are you gonna hug me and say I love you? No, you're gonna be angry. You can't be happy. You can't fake being happy. You can't fake being angry. So anybody who's gonna do something negative, you know damn well they're going through hell in their own life, and then they want to project it onto you. Don't give them that energy. This is why I say don't look at these people in the face. I'm gonna read some of these comments. Shout out to everyone in the room. Shout out to Moody Mercury. Everybody go check out Moody Mercury's channel, his music, everything. Yeah. Shout out to him. I was listening to one of his songs that I forgot what it was called. That shit was going hard, to be honest. And it's funny because, like, I listen to music nowadays. I don't even like most music, but when I listen, like, me, like Dolo's music, the people like Moody Mercury, people, like, it makes me like, I'm gonna start making my own music too, because I really was into doing that. But I'm gonna make my own music. Like, people like that inspire me to make my own music, not so I could get big and viral, but so I can listen to my own music. Because I'm like, I want to listen to my own music. I wanted to get a speaker boombox the other day, and I was like, why am I gonna go waste $200 on a speaker if I don't even like most music? The only music I can listen to, if I listen to music, would be if I make my own music or if I'm listening to other people's music and shit. And this was like months ago when I was trying to get one, and I'm thinking back, like, if I had my own music or I was listening to like custom music that I really fuck with, I wouldn't. I'll be able to listen to music all the time and shit like I did back in the day. Like, I can't listen to music like I listened to back in the day, because back in the day, my consciousness and awareness was more low, so I can listen to dumb shit. And plus, we were in a different shit. Right now, Neptune is leaving Pisces, so all of that lean and rapping about I shot this nigga up, that shit ain't cool. It was cool back then, 10 years ago, fucking even like 8 years ago. Listening to that shit, it sounded cool. Oh, I'm gonna bust this nigga's brain out. It sounded cool. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm sure you niggas that back in like 2011, 13, it sounded, I bust this nigga's brains out. Now, when people say it don't sound right, it's because of the shift. It's not per se, busting somebody, because obviously busting somebody's brain out is bad back then, bad now. We always looked at it. If we seen it in real life, we'll say that's bad. But when people rapped about it back then, it was more cooler. Nowadays, it's like, because we in a different shift. So it just tells you that this Aries energy. Aries is about self. Everybody wants to make their own music, make their own shit, set their own shit. No one gives a fuck about rappers and actors, musicians, and even these social media influencers. They're on the decline too. They're not, because energy always, if you're not evolving, is gonna go down. So we in a different time right now. It's like, right, it even plays out physically. Obese people being the worst. Exactly. Obese people. I like how he said it. When I see fat people, I don't want to say all fat people, but I would say at least 8, 9 out of 10 of people that are obese, especially females. When it's men is a little different. When I see obese men, they're more like, they chill, whatever. But with women, it's more of a problem when they're obese. When I see an obese, overweight woman, it's usually coupled with a very horrible attitude. And you guys gotta understand, like, women are more different than men. Like, when a man, if you're an ugly, fat, disgusting bitch, and you're a female, you know you're a fat, ugly, disgusting bitch. This is why, like, for me, when throughout my whole life, I will go and talk to, when I see an attract, like, when I, even from all my whole life, from high school, from just living in my life, it's, you guys may not believe me, and I don't really care. It's been easier for me to get women that society will, and I'll say this so you guys know what I'm talking about, what society will call attractive, like what society will call 8 or a 9. I've had better encounters with women like that compared to women that are ugly as fuck. And you guys may not believe me, like, it's easier for me to talk to a female who's at least 8, 9, or 10 compared to a bitch who's ugly. They have an attitude more, because you got to understand, like, hey, I don't even have to come up to them like I'm talking to them, like, I could ask them for directions. They'll think, because what it is, an ugly fat bitch, she's insecure. when men hit on her compared to when an attractive female hits on her, because an ugly fat bitch knows she's ugly, she's fat. So when a man hits on her, for the most part, I'm not saying all the time, but for the most part, in her mind, if she's not feeling the dude, she'll be like, she'll like, let's just say if a girl is fat and ugly and a dude comes up and says something to her and she doesn't like, she's not interested in him, even though the guy's not interested in her, like she will feel offended because she'd be like, I'm fat and ugly. The only reason he's going after me is just because he wants to get his rocks off. He can't possibly think I look good because I'm an ugly fat bitch. And because she knows that. So when a man hits on an ugly fat bitch, in her mind, she's like, he only wants me for sex. But when a female who's an 8 or 9 gets hit on by a man that's attractive, the thoughts in her brain are different because she's like, I know I'm attracted. He likes me because I'm attracted. And she'll probably be annoyed, whatever, but it's not going to be the same as the other bitch, because the other bitch can be like, he just wants me fucking just to fuck. Because 9 out of 10 times, those bitches who went through have been in a situation where men would just leave them after they fuck them. Because that's all they want. It's just, and in their mind, they're like, he must not be able to get the fine Barbie looking bitch, so he has to settle for me. And it's because they don't have no love for themselves. So like, this is why I say like it's weird as fuck. That's why you'll see a lot of fat, attractive, fat, ugly bitches are more have an attitude compared to like a skinny, fine bitch. Don't get me wrong. Some of them can have an attitude too, but usually when you see a attractive female that has an attitude, it's there, but it's even when it's there, it's different than when it's a fat bitch. The fat bitch, her attitude is because she knows she's fat and ugly, and any man that hits on her, she knows the man don't want her. He just wants to get his nut off, and that's it. The attractive bitch, she knows she has some type of looks, and the man probably would want to stay in a long-term situation, but she's upset because the man probably ain't shit. Because if you're an attractive female, and most of the time, and you haven't done the shadow work to actually heal, you're gonna be attracting men who maybe look, they may look good to the female, but they don't have shit. This is why a lot of men in this MGTOW, they're fucking stupid. They say, oh, men have options. Women have options. Women have options. Yes and no. Because a woman doesn't just want to have sex. A woman is connected differently. Men just want to have sex. So a woman can have a whole bunch of men, but she can't get no long lasting. When it comes to commitment, men have the upper advantage of commitment. When it comes to just getting sex, women have that. So you guys got to keep that in mind. So like, yeah, I don't want to go too much, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like most of these females out here, they're damaged. This is why you see obese bitches. They have attitudes and they're angry because it all stems from inwardly, and inwardly their world is fucked up. So it's gonna manifest outwardly as them being obese. Because a lot of these bitches, they stress eat. They stress eat. They're eating because of depression, anxiety, and all. That's how I know. Like when I see a fat bitch, I know you stay the far fuck away from me, because I'm breatharian. I'm healthy. My path is of health and wellness, and so when I see a bitch that's fat, I already know you ain't for me, because I'm not in a position, and the astrology and the shift that we're in is not in a position for you to change anyone. If you're an overweight bitch now, especially if you over fucking in your 20s, mid-20s, you really need somebody to tell you that being overweight is unhealthy. Like you couldn't come up with your own conclusion to make you take initiative to lose weight and not be a fat ass in 2025. At this point, I'm not helping no grown ass bitch telling you what to do like a little kid. You should know to take certain initiatives in life. You see what I'm saying? Like, so when I see a bitch who's overweight, and I'm not saying all females overweight, there's nothing like, that's what I'm saying. Like, because at the same time, there's women out there who are skinny who were once overweight. So when they were overweight, they obviously had a thought that was of a high vibration, so they weren't overweight. So I don't want to say all women, but I'm talking about the women who are comfortable being overweight, who are comfortable being a piece of shit. Bitches like that. That's who I'm talking about. But obesity, all that, it does have a lot. It have to do with it. Take accountability for how you abuse. Exactly. Mental health, physical health, and external, like everything is really health. The way I look at it, I don't even really like. I get what you're saying, taking care of your health, but the way I look at it, like it's just about being in righteousness. Because what is really healthy? There's people who eat healthy and they get cancer. There's people who don't eat healthy and they live a little longer than, like, even when they talk about drug addicts and drug addicts die, the main reason drug addicts die is because of overdosing. If a drug addict doesn't die, a drug addict is gonna live the same age as a motherfucker who just eats hamburgers and dies from heart disease at age 70 or 80, like the average person. The only reason drug addicts die is because of overdosing. If they don't overdose, you'll see those drug addicts they will live the same age as the average person who never did drugs. So it's really about being righteous and being in alignment. Not more so, like, even though health I get, but I look at health as being in alignment. Because some people, they may need to do things that I'm not supposed to do, and so that's how I look at it. That's what you guys just got to be in alignment for health. Because when I start looking at, when I put too much emphasis to health, it can get you kind of angry, especially somebody like me. Like me, I eat, like, for example, let me give you guys an example. There could be somebody who fasts every day, who does yoga, qigong, does all of the eat healthy. But the moment they do X, Y, and Z, they get sick. But this person, they don't even do fasting qigong, but when they do that, they don't get sick. But that doesn't mean this person has it better than, no, it doesn't mean that. Because if this person just lives and bees themselves and doesn't act fake, they're going to thrive more. First of all, you don't need X, Y, and Z to live life. X, Y, and Z costs money. X, Y, and Z is an external resource that you don't want to be dependent on. So just because you can't do it doesn't mean anything wrong. If anything, you not doing it is saving you money, time, and energy from doing it. So being righteous is healthy. And being righteous is doing what you have to do, cater to your personal experience, not based on what you think is healthy or what somebody on YouTube told you. Don't get me wrong. If you're in alignment and you're on a certain trajectory, then take advice from people who are also on that trajectory. But I won't tell everyone that they need to fast, they need to do qigong, yoga, whatever. Some people, maybe they do. If you have a health issue and a problem, obviously you need to take care of health. But at the end of the day, I call being, the way I look at it, if there's something in your life you're supposed to do that has nothing to do with health, and you just eat healthy and you do whatever, eating healthy isn't going to do shit for you. Even all the way down to somebody could say I'm healthy, I'm eating healthy and shit, but then there's other things in their life that they're not taking care of. They can get in a car accident and they can't walk. So they took care of their legs, they took care of their health to be vibrant, but there was something in their life they didn't do, then it caused a situation where now they don't even have no health. But it didn't stem from them not even taking care of their health. It stemmed from them not being their self. So being yourself and living authentically to your spirit, that's really healthy. That's what I would tell somebody. That's really what I'll tell somebody. I even look at it like health, the way people think it exists, don't even really exist like that. Because if that was the case, you want to see people who eat healthy, who get cancer. You want to see people who fucking are addicts still live to be fucking older than some people who never done drugs or drink in their fucking life. Like, there's some people who die from heart attack at age 40, but then a fucking drug addict will sit there and be alive to like 50, 60. And then when he does die, it's from an OD. It's not like from a complication. Not to say they don't have complications, but their complications probably going to kill them the same time as the average person who doesn't do drugs. It's just crazy. Say Chance don't give a fuck. Yeah, like those people, like, you don't understand. Like that whole fucking place are very negative. Like I one thing I've noticed is that when I go to certain locations and stores, based upon how the customer service and how the people treat you, is based on how they treat their employers. The employers treat their employees. There's some places I'll go, they'll always be in a good mood. And then some places I go, like, everybody, not just one person in the bed, everyone. Like this bar, the Barnes and Noble, everyone's always in a negative mood. Like, it's like they look at everyone as, like, I don't know if they're racist or, like, I don't even want to say racist, because I see this with every other race. It's not like just with me. So I don't want to say, I don't even want to be playing that bullshit. The only thing, well, that's another video, but I don't know if it's racism or it just, I could just tell, like, they just have a very negative energy. Like, it's weird. Like, you could pick up on a vibe or something. And when I pick up on a vibe,
And this is something I'm trying to work on. I'm not saying it's right, but when I pick up on a negative vibe and I feel like it's unjust and unwarranted, like this out of just being a dickhead and just being that kind of, and this is something I have to work on. That's something that's when that inner like mischievous side of me will come out and I'll sabotage and I'll do something. I don't like doing that. But I only do that when it's like when I was younger, I used to just do it for no fucking reason. But I'm at a point where if I do it, it's justified. I'm at a point where when I do that, it's justified and it's for good reason. Like I was literally gonna go in the bathroom, use the bathroom, and then just leave. But and then the funny thing is, she could have just gave me the code to the bathroom and left, but she had to go deal with another customer. She's like, let me go deal with this customer, then I'll open the bathroom. I'm like, no. In my mind, I'm like, no, why don't you open the bathroom for me right now? And then they'll go deal with him or give me the code and stop being a bitch. You're giving everybody else a code. That's one of the reasons that made me want to do that, because she's willing to go work. Since she's willing to go do extra work just so you don't give me the code, like, is that petty to you? Like, I'm gonna make you, since you want to do extra work, I'm gonna make you niggas do extra work and clean up that fucking bathroom. I don't give a fuck, because anybody who cleans it up, they work at that store, so I don't give a fuck. Because that whole, everyone in that store is a fucking dickhead who works there. I think it's not Borders, Barnes and Noble. And I think the reason why is because, like, anybody who works at Barnes and, like, all the people who work at Barnes and Noble, like, you know, those typical people, they tell you, like, what society would tell you, like, they're liberal, they got, like, green hair, and they look like transvestites, all that weirdo shit. That's the type of people that work there. And those are the most mentally ill people within the whole, everyone's mentally ill, but when you look at the people who are very, very mentally ill, those are the type of people that are mentally ill. What they will call, and I'm not against liberal Republican, I fucking hate liberal Republican, but I'm giving you guys an example of what it is. What they will call a liberal, people who dye their hair, like people who are call themselves that, they're all mentally retarded. But a person who's a liberal is more, and you guys know I don't even like to speak, like, I don't want niggas thinking, oh, you're for Trump. Like, fuck Trump, fuck Republican. You guys know I hate that bum ass nigga. I hate everybody in politics. I hate them. But I had to just tell you guys, people who take on that liberal are more like fucked up mentally as a result, because it's more, when you look at their demeanor, most of them are transgender faggots. They dye their hair. All of that is stemming from mental illness. It's not like I'm just talking. In order for you to be a homosexual or that to be into trans, it's a mental illness. Your brain is not working. Some type of trauma, whether it be sexual abuse, physical abuse, it happened and it threw off the trajectory of how your brain is wired. So now it's wiring in a way that isn't right. This is why people will become transgender. That's why the DSMV, the mental health handbook, transgender was a fucking mental illness up until like the 80s or the 90s, and they removed it and they tried to make it look like it's something normal, like brushing your teeth or some dumbass shit. Like, all of that is mental illness. Like, that's the people that work there. And you can see it, because when I'm around and I see these people, like, they'll be by themselves and like they just have a very angry, like, I'm like, they're just very in their own hell. And people like that, like, every time when I, back in school and back in my life, when I seen somebody like that, I will play on that and I will make it even worse for them. I will always play on that shit. Because I hate people, like, when you project it towards me, like, when you project that shit towards me, I'll play on that shit. That's why I really, like, that's the shit gets me upset here, especially if I'm in a good vibe and mood, because ever since I've been in a good, I'm developing inner chill and calmness within me. And it's weird how, as I start developing it, I'm starting to see these external, like, people just start saying, doing shit, not to the point where I want to fight somebody, but definitely to a point where it's like, where's the fuck is this coming from? Like the other bitch, I was at the 7-Eleven, and it's weird because I haven't been today when I went to that 7-Eleven, it's on the other side of town. And I went there, right? And then a week ago, I went there, and it was another black bitch, not the same one, another one. She wasn't talking to me, she was talking to somebody else, but what she was saying, it irritated me. But it wasn't like it was disrespected. She just, you know, when people talk dumb shit, and I'm a YouTuber, I talk truth and shit. So she was trying to, like, she was all talking with passion and talking about, oh, you're just this and now, like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like, we in a different time, bitch. where is this coming from? Talk about, oh, she's like, oh, I told my little cousin or my son, I don't know what nigger she was talking about. She's like, oh, I told my son, you are just a black person and you ain't shit. And that's how society is gonna look at you. Like, bitch, why would you tell him that? Like, first of all, you work at 7-Eleven and she look up there, like around my age. You work at 7-Eleven. If he was smart, he wouldn't even listen to what the fuck you gotta say. And even if what you're saying is true, what's your solution? If you don't have a solution, bitch, shut the fuck up. I don't need you to tell me common sense. I can go on reality and know everything. She's all moving her hands, and she wasn't talking to me. She was talking to the other bitch. She's all moving her hands and talking like she means something and shit. Like, bitch, you work at fucking 7-Eleven. You better get back to work before they fire your ass once they catch this shit on camera of you speaking your mind. Dumbass. And then you're gonna complain that, oh, they fired me for speaking my mind. But you weren't speaking your fucking mind. And we in a different time. Why you gotta speak your fucking mind? How about speaking your mind lead to everybody who fucking hates working at 7-Eleven or any job, just stop working there. And if it's enough people that stop working there, that's the solution. That's a protest. That's you voicing your opinion. We in a different time. This is an Aries energy we're going into. Fuck the going on the street protesting. You don't like something? Physically don't, like, imagine if 1 million people didn't pay taxes. That will cause a lot of money, a lot of dent. So much to the point where they'll have to negotiate. It obviously just one person to just throw your ass in jail like they did Wesley Snipes and shit. Because it's just one person. But imagine every celebrity can, like, even like this whole shit with celebrities say, oh, I have a handler, I can't do, like, that's all bullshit. They try to make it look like, oh, we can't do anything because our hands are tight because we're controlled. That's bullshit. If every single celebrity came and put a coalition together, what are they gonna do? Take down all of them? Imagine all the celebrities, they came, put their money together, say we're all gonna do this at the same time. What we're gonna do, we're all gonna go on different YouTubers' channel and we're gonna flood their shit and we're gonna tell them and then go live all the time. If anything happened to you, it's on live, and all the celebrities, they get their money together. What are they gonna do? That's what I'm saying. People gotta wake up. That's the only way to change this shit. If not, there's no way to change it. Not one person can do it. It needs to be a lot of people come together and do something. It's not even about, oh, we gotta go and build this building. Don't get me wrong, it's good to build and all that shit, but there's things we could do right now if it takes a lot of people. Imagine if 10,000 people came together and one, let's say Walmart or Amazon or some corporation or some company, maybe a smaller one. If you do Walmart, you have to do a lot more people. They just say, we're not coming to work. And it's not like you set a date. You just, one day, 100 people don't come to work. Then the next day, 200 people. And then once a week goes by and everybody's looking at 1,000 people not at work, let me join. That's how it is. Not like, because there's no planning shit. Once you start planning, oh, we're going to do this day, protesting this day, that's when they can intervene. They can create psyops. All this even go on the internet announcing. There needs to be some type of way people do this shit where there's no having to discuss it on the internet or nothing like that. But I don't even think they even get to that point. Because at the end of the day, the world's going to change regardless. It's either going to change because people wake up, or it's going to change because it's just going to get burned the fuck down. And when I say, I mean spiritually. So it's just going to happen where people are just, because a lot of the Masons and Jews and all the people, when they die, they're not going to come back in a good position. So like, eventually this shit's going to be, it's not like they're going to come back and be able to do this shit again. Like a lot of the spirits, like shout out to Dolo, he even said it, like a lot of the spirits that were doing shit back then, they're not even incarnating. So this shit's gonna get cleaned up eventually. It may take a little longer than it has to. So like, but why does it have to take that long if we could just do it right now? He said Chauncey don't give a fuck about karma. I do give a fuck about karma. Like a lot of you guys have a misconception of what karma is. A lot of you guys have a misconception of what karma is. Like karma is it's like it's a seed. Karma ain't something where it's like you do this and this comes back to you and shit. Like even when you really look at it, like you say, I'm sure you're relating it to what I did about pissing in the bathroom. You may say, oh, that's bad karma, but then you also got to look at it like I don't even look at that as bad karma, because based on the situation, what the fuck happened,
that was justified the way I look at it. And you don't have to agree with me or not. But you can also, if you want, if I'm looking at it from your perspective, let's say I want to look at it from Robert Hanley's perspective, it's karma. Can't I say that that's their karma for what I did? So let's just say there's a homeless guy right here. I see him right there. And there's literally a homeless guy right there. Let's just say I go and I punch him in his fucking face. You say that's bad karma. Wouldn't it be bad karma for him? Because he got a punch in the face? Because based upon your logic, you did something bad, which is gonna have bad karma. But if I punch somebody in the face, that's something bad to them. Getting punched in the face, that's bad. If I got punched in the face, I'm gonna be thinking like, what the fuck did I do? Or like, see, so isn't that karma for them? So the person has to clean the bathroom up, or wouldn't that be their karma? Since we want to go by that logic, it's crazy. That's why I look at it, like, even when I like, because karma works different. Like when I was working at like, remember like when I like last year when I fucking busted my knee. You guys remember I had sprained my knee. I had crutches and everything. This was like a year ago. In one of my videos. When I fucked up, I didn't break my knee, but when I sprained my knee, that was karma. And it's funny because what I was doing in my life, I was working for my uncle's company where I was helping him move and do other shit. Or he worked for a company. I was helping him. He like put me on and they were paying me. And something told me not to even take this stupid ass job. And I was making money, and then all of a sudden, like a week later, my leg hurt and I couldn't even work there no more. And I was like, so I knew that I wasn't supposed to work there. But all the times before that, I was stealing in the stores. You guys see me, I was stealing. I'll run, I'll rip shit off the shelf, and I never got hurt. If anything, like, I remember I stole something from the store and I ran. And then when I was running and I was chilling, I was just sitting down and some guy gave me $20 and said, oh, I like the way your energy, bro. And you all talking to me. We have a car. He gave me $20. He didn't just give me 20. We had a conversation and he gave me $20. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys gotta look at it from a perspective. It's about being righteous. It's not nothing to do with, because when you're righteous, I'm not saying go out here and go and kill and do whatever the fuck you want, because obviously there is a negativity. But when you're living in a righteous path and what you're doing is for a higher good, certain things you do, it won't fuck with you. Things won't fuck with you as much. Like what you think, like it will pave a way because you have a higher good, a higher purpose. There's people I know, homeless, fucking keep cousins, people I know, they'll go into a store, the same store I go in and hit. Like there's one Walmart I fucking was hitting years ago, and my homie went in there and they were harassing him and shit, saying you stole something. He didn't steal shit. They were literally harassing, wouldn't even let him leave. He left because they found out he didn't take it because they looked at the camera. But I go into that Walmart all the fucking time. I was going in there. Ain't nothing happening. I'm not saying I've never gotten in situations where it was like hemmed up and shit and like I had to get out. I'm never saying that, but there's people I know who never stole shit in their life. I had a cousin. He never stole shit. Very good person. He went into a store. They were harassing him. I've never ever been harassed in a store unless I did something. And even then, there have been times like I would do shit and like it's just weird. Like that's what I'm saying. You gotta just, yeah. When people more negative than once, they actually like being in that energy. I can give grace, but twice or more means you choose. Exactly. Yeah, when it's more than one, I don't want to say they like being in it. They probably do. They actually, you're right. They do like being in it because most people when they're miserable, they like, you may think people don't like to be miserable, but anger, when you have anger, that's Mars energy. When you anytime you're expressing something, it's like a relief. It feels good. So on a certain small level, people like to be angry. People like to be upset. People like to be irritated, and like they do, because if they didn't, they would get up out of that situation. But to get out of that situation takes hard work compared to just being angry. And then, because when you're angry, you can say it's not my fault, it's this person's fault. Like in a way, and even today, it is kind of my fault for me manifesting that situation. I'm not going to say it's completely her fault. It is my fault because I could have put myself in a better mind space where I wouldn't even be there. I shouldn't even be in this fucking city for the most part, or in this area. I should be in another fucking country in a nice area where I can breathe actually fresh air to take my breatharian practice even further.
which is what I'm eventually going to be doing, getting the fuck out. Because most people, they want to get out of America. Like, if I get out of America, it's on the basis of real things. Like, unless I live in the U.S. and I'm in a nice environment where the air is clean. But I'm starting to come to the conclusion that I can't even be in America no more. So I'm gonna have to fucking leave. So I don't know where I was at, but you guys get what I'm saying. The people, they choose their energy. Oh, he said at the link. Oh shit. I'm gonna have to start it. I just seen the comment right now. I'm about to add the link. If I don't know if he's still in there. Yeah, if anybody wants to join, I just seen your thing right now. My bad. I've just had it up to here when it comes to individual. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, I don't like when you guys see like a lot of shit. Like, say you're only looking at it from one perspective. You're not living my life. Like I feel like a lot of the problems that I have is when I was younger. I repressed a lot of emotion. You know, that's one thing I want to tell you guys. Never repress anger. Never repress your emotions because it will come. That's a lot of the reason why I have a lot of anger issues and I spaz out. Because when I was in high school, when I was younger, I repressed a lot of emotion and because I had my blockages were severe. Like I had a lot of severe blockages. I have a Mars conjunct Saturn, so when you have a Mars conjunct Saturn, it can either make you too passive or too negative. Like they say like Jay that one I think it was Stalin, one of these evil ass dictators, like they say like serial killers and dictators, they have a Mars conjunct Saturn. A lot of them are people who are very have a lot of anger, but it also can be somebody who's very nice. So like, but you want to have a balance with that. Like it's not like it's a negative placement. It's just if you're on the negative octave of it. But me, I when I was younger, I had an issue with always suppressing my anger and my emotions. Like when I'll be angry, it'll be hard for me to express. Even like now, like nowadays, I have two like layers of me. I have my original thought, and then I have like the fake ass thought. Like when something happens to me, that fake ass programmed thought will come, and then once I'll recognize that thought because I've been doing a lot of qigong. So something, let's say somebody would have an interaction, and then I will not say something, but it will be on the pretense I don't want to express my emotion because of my Mars conjunct Saturn. So I will have that thought and I'll realize, okay, I don't want to suppress my emotions. So therefore I will go in and I will express it. And the reason why it may come off as sometimes it doesn't look healthy is because I suppressed a lot of my emotions back then. So now I feel like I gotta express it even more. And I don't want like it's like this is why you don't want to hold your emotions in because this is how a lot of people end up killing people or snapping or doing something they regret because they hold their emotion and then by the time they let it out they end up doing the most, which they didn't have to do the most, but the reason they felt like they need to do the most because they held it in for so long and all that bottled anger it like released. So that's another thing that I've been working on, like and the way I work on it also is not just controlling my emotion, but just not putting myself in certain situations when certain shadow work completely hasn't been done. Like, don't put yourself around certain people. Like, I know I can't hang around certain individuals because if I do, because in this world, everyone is really there's very few real people. Most people are bitch niggas, and when I say bitch nigga, I don't mean it as a bad thing. Like people will say, "Oh, you gotta be tough, you gotta be this and that," but it's like you really can't be tough without being locked up in jail because they'll say you gotta be tough, but then if somebody comes and then let's just say somebody comes and they push me to the ground and start talking shit. If the nigga's like 400 pounds, I can't just beat his ass. I have to go get a gun and then shoot his fucking house up or go fucking shoot one of his family members up. And then now I'm gonna go to jail. So this is why everybody in this reality is a bitch ass nigga because once you want to go to that level, then people want to start doing shit. And I'm not saying I would ever do anything like that to nobody. I would never do anything like that to no one. But it's just the principle of the fact. Like this is why you have to take accountability. Like me, I know not to be around certain people, not to be around people in the streets, hood, or whatever, because they'll bring a certain side about you, and then once you act to that level, they'll even that's what I'm saying. Even, this is one rap song that I listened to by I forgot what he was, but he said in the song, even when shit gets too hot,
even the ops will call the cops. Like he been through situation where the nigga that he was beefing with killed people and he killed people, but it got too hot where the nigga went and snitched on his homies. So that's what I'm saying. It really ain't no tough shit in this game. It's really just everybody just trying to win. But then they're trying to make it think, oh, it's tough, man. I'm a tough guy and all that. But what's up with it, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, I want to add on to what you just said right there. There's a few other things I want to bring up too.
Mm-hmm.
But to add on to what you just said, that reminds me of there's another content creator I watch named Sweatsul. Shout out Sweatsul, and he made a video talking about how the mentally ill are like actually the most powerful. And when I say mentally ill, I mean people that society tries to limit and paint them as mentally ill because they
Mm-hmm.
have like a lot of thoughts and feelings that maybe the average
Exactly.
bot don't even be experiencing.
Let me add this. One thing I've noticed is people that are mentally ill, they age more gracefully.
Yeah,
I noticed that. Like, and I'm thinking it's because of the way their mind is. It may be like I want to say it's negative because a person who ages more, they're more in the world, they're out external. But I don't even want to say that because when you're external, it doesn't really have anything to do with that. But the person who's mentally ill, they're more inward.
yep,
But even if it's negative, it still plays out where they're not in of the world so much, so it drains them. So it's like
right.
I've noticed that, especially with white people who are more white, the European descent, the most of the European, I used to have a channel talking about social anxiety, depression years ago, and like all the white people that I noticed that were in the mental illness community, for the most part, even today when I see it, they look more younger compared to like the average white person you see that's into like science and atheism and they just whatever. So like I noticed that's something to do with it as well.
It's like there's two different mental illnesses, quote unquote. These are just words, but I'm just to explain it. There's like two types. There's the one where it's like more spiritual and society just tries to limit you and call it mental illness, and you might not even have full control of it yourself, right? But then there's the other one where it's the programming, it's the what society makes the bots to be and whatnot. So it's like
Yeah,
two different mental illnesses, if you know what I mean.
exactly. Like it. Because at that point, since you say that, everyone's technically mentally ill at
Yeah,
this point. Unless you obviously been doing a show, even if you're doing a shout out, we have issues, but it's not about eliminating all your problems because we're humans and we're gonna have
right.
issues. But I wouldn't even say somebody's mentally ill who's doing shadow work because you at least you know your problems and you're trying to work on them. That's all that matters. But most of society, if not all society, is mentally ill. And what makes it dangerous is what is actually the biggest mental illness problem is looked at as success, whereas the problem of mental illness that it's still a problem, but it's not as bad as looked at as like what somebody may be retarded. Like a person who's
Yeah,
retarded, they're not affecting my life as somebody who's a corporate CEO who's making these dumbass fucking decisions based
right.
upon their trauma and their illnesses that they can't even get over. But since they have money and respect and fame or whatever the fuck you want to call it, status, people look at like, well, he must have done something right. Look at his status. Look at, and then you
Yeah,
can't question him.
and
And then they'll be like, well, yeah.
it amplifies their mental illness.
Exactly. So it's like that's why the world we're in, and you even see people like in the financial community, like if you don't have money, why would I listen to you? I'm only gonna listen to people with money. And I'm like, you fucking idiot. The people who have more money than you are handlers and agents and they don't fuck with you. So it will behoove you to listen to some people, not saying everyone without money, but there's people who don't have money that have a lot of knowledge. So for you not to listen to them, you're dumb because what are you trying to create your own money or are you just trying to live in their system? And if that's the case, nigga, all the people who have more money than you, they don't fuck with you. They don't give a fuck about you. They only care about you because you're able to provide a lot of money. And if anything, they'll probably steal your business idea and then ruin your business and shit. Like even like Blockbuster, for example. I'm pretty sure there was a lot of the dude who owned Blockbuster when that company went down. There was other things that he could have done at other companies. They didn't give a fuck about him. They took their idea and they went with it. And you see what I'm saying? Like they don't care about the whole business world.
Right.
They'll get rid of your business and take you down and fuck your business up and all of that shit. So no one really cares about anyone really, and it's all competitive and shit. They want to get rid of you so they can make even more money. Because when you get into the world of money and finances, especially a lot of these billionaires, a lot of them have mental trauma and illness. So when you're like why are they so greedy? They have all this money. It's not that they don't have, it's the principle. So like you can have $100 billion and lose $3 billion and still have 97 billion. That's a lot of money. But to a person, to the average rich person who has mental illness and who has all these traumas, and they have OCD, that they can't sleep with that. That 3 billion is like, it's still 3 billion, and they're depressed. So even though they have 97 billion, they're still depressed. That's how it is. This is why you see the world the way it is. Like, why can't they just give me a free cup? And they charge. It's because it's like it's the principle of it. It's like it's a mental illness, because these corporations, they look at it like, why? Yeah, I have $1 billion, but why am I gonna give this homeless person $1? I don't fuck with him. So it's
Hey,
like it's a deep level. Yeah.
you saying that just made me realize that's part of why the economy be so fucked up too, because these companies be complaining, oh, we can't hire people, nobody want to work, but then they don't put the wages up. And
And
then,
yeah, go
you
ahead.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, it's funny you said that, because, and the thing is, people, even with the wages not going up, people still want to work. You know how many people trying to get these shitty jobs and the wages aren't even where they're supposed to be? It's not like people like, oh, the wages isn't $30 an hour, I'm not working. They're like, the wages are low, but I still want to work because at least it's something. So even with that, they still don't fuck with people. Like, that's why I can tell it's some type of, it's something else going on that I'm not really sure. I don't think it's just the economy, because there's a lot of people who want to work. There's a lot of people who are like desperate for money, who will work. Like, there's so much trash in this city. They can easily make it where if you're homeless or you need some money, put on a safety vest and come to this lineup at this building, and we'll pay you $50 a day to pick up trash. We'll drive you around. People will do that. There's ways to make money. I'm not like me. I'm not saying things should be free, even though I think resources should be free. But even if you want to have people work, let people work. Let pay people that amount, a sufficient amount of money. Make sure there's, if somebody wants to work, then they should be able to work. There should be no, if they throw away food every day, if they throw away resources every day, that means that there's enough jobs for everybody to get paid to
Right.
be able to buy what they need.
You know what I think it is too? They're not really concerned with like the long-term sustainability of the system. They're more concerned with the short-term profit and like, oh, how much money can we make now? So that causes them to like have that mental illness of not thinking about the long term. And then in the long run, their company ends up fucking up due to them being so focused on the short-term profits and shit.
Exactly. Like, like that within itself is the reason why all these part of the reason why these companies are failing. If you really think about it, like, because they'll be doing stupid shit to make like you'll be like, why would they make this decision? It's like almost like they're trying to run the business down, or I don't know exactly. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, they're trying to run it down, or they're trying to, like, I really don't even know. It's weird.
It's dumb,
Like,
bro.
it's
It's like it reminds me of companies that like still require people to take like the 2020 shots and shit. It's like,
I didn't even know there were people still doing that, allowing. I
yeah,
didn't know.
nah, there's still
That's
companies
crazy.
that do that, bro. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, why would you do that? And then they complain about nobody want to work there. Well, duh, like, because look at the policies y'all be implementing and shit.
What I think is going on is, I think there's different layers to it. Like, on a certain level, it's about money. Then it's about the economy and building it right. And I think it's just different sections of the system, and people want different things. Like, it's not just one. Like, the people up top who control it, they probably have a certain agenda that really had. Because if you really look at money, you gotta look at it like this. Go to a grocery store and talk to the manager of a grocery store. I've talked to them and I say, you guys throw out, what do you guys do? Why don't you guys donate your food? Why don't you guys throw out so much food? They tell me over 40% of the food on the shelf gets thrown in the garbage can. And most of it is not expired. It's close to expiration, because they have a certain standard at that company. They have to have fresh shit. So if that's the case, then there really is no economic issue,
Right.
because things are being produced. There's
Huh.
no, like, they'll say a shortage of eggs, but yet nobody. Remember when they had the food shortage, but nobody talks about all the food that they throw out every day. If it was a food
Right.
shortage, why don't you just save that food and give it to the homeless or give it away? But they can't do that, because if they did that, then nobody will work. So it all has to do with the human, the people.
Right.
It's
Right.
nothing, because like Joel said in his last channel video,
the people are the resource. And if you think about it, like what made me, I looked at it like if they gave all the food they throw out for free, then why would I go work at this shitty job to go pay for food? I would just get the food for free. So this all goes back to the people being the resources. Everything, every decision is all about. I feel like it's like bug breaking
A
to get
human
people to
body
think.
battery.
Yeah, and then the laws and the economic collapse and all of this shit is to probably get the change the psyche of the human to make them more in fear to have to go produce more. Like, because if they just gave everybody a job easily, then people probably just work, then quit, then work to quit. But they put a lot of programming and witchcraft with hiring, like interview, having to dress up in a certain attire, having to talk a certain way, then you getting denied. So now when you finally get that shitty ass job, it's not even a good job, it's a shit job, pay like 20 some dollars an hour or less. Then they want to sit there and you're more reluctant to leave because of all the hell you went through, and they put you through 3 interview processes. Like
Oh
this one
my.
bitch, yeah, this one bitch said she had 3 interviews at fucking Target. I'm like, at Target? I thought she was talking about like a corporation. I'm like, Target? Are you serious? 3 interviews? Like, what are you doing there? Like, was it a corporate position or it was a little shitty like in-store like stalker or whatever? It's crazy. And I'm like, there's no reason for that. Or you'll go to these jobs and like McDonald's, they'll be hiring and they'll say, um, even in the interview, why do you want to work here? Like, bitch, I need money. Like, what do you know about the company? Like, why the fuck do I need to know anything about the company? Like, all of that shit is weird. Like,
Right.
it shows me it's not about what the people think it's about. It's about just creating
It's like
a certain
psychological.
human. Yeah, psychological thing. Like, you got to be out of your mind, and you got to be a real ignorant piece of shit to ask somebody in this economy after this bozo head just raise all these taxes and tariffs. Ask somebody in an interview, why do you want to work here? Like, nobody wants to work at it's not that nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work at a shit fucking job such as McDonald's. So why would you ask them? And you know they want to work there for the money. But if you say that, they're gonna get upset. But then they want honest, truthful people. But if I tell you, if I was an interviewer and I told somebody why do you want to work there, and they told me anything but I want to make money, I'm gonna look at them like they're a lying piece of shit, and I'm not gonna be able to trust you because I know damn well a normal, smart human being isn't gonna want to work at a place in this economic condition, especially just because they love the company or they want to be a team
Yeah.
member. Like, get the fuck out of here. I probably want to air out
That makes
everybody.
no sense. That's like that should only be for the people that own the company.
Yeah, for real. You're getting the investors or the people who own it. Like, you're getting the profit of it. So it makes sense. You're getting the proceeds of the beneficiary of the company. You're not giving me shit. And anything you do give me, it's not even, it's because I did something for the company. Like, the fuck?
Right, exactly, man. That was a good breakdown right there. But bro, can I switch the topic real quick?
Go ahead, do whatever. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because you was talking earlier about the evil eye shit, right? I want to give a little story about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like a week ago, man. So I'm at the laundromat, right? I'm just doing my laundry, minding my
I hate the laundromat. I hate the laundromat. I could go like,
yeah, man. I'm trying to save up to get like a little portable one or whatever. But anyway, so I go there, right? I'm doing my laundry, minding my business, and there was just this weird lady, like with the fucking
bonnets.
Yeah, the bonnet and shit. And she was just
Anytime I see a female with a bonnet, I look at her like that's some ratchet shit right there. Like,
yeah. So like this lady, bro, I'm doing my laundry, and like the whole time I was there, she was like staring at me hard, like real hard, like and like it and with a stank face too. She was like the
was
whole
was she an older lady or like younger, like your age?
She was older than me for sure. She was probably in her like late 30s or early 40s or some shit.
Yeah.
So she's staring at me hard. I ain't never been stared at this hard before in my life. It made me feel uncomfortable and shit. So obviously I noticed because I had to look back. And then the first time I looked, I was like, okay, maybe she's just staring for the moment. But you know how you don't really look directly and you can like use your peripheral vision to see what other people are still doing.
Yeah.
So I look away and I'm like, bro, she's still staring at like no mercy too. And I look back and with this time, the second time I look back at her with a stank face, like, do you have no manners and shit? Like nobody taught you that shit is rude and
Yeah,
shit. So
yeah.
so I just ignored it eventually, and then later on, as my laundry was almost done, she was like, and I was with my girl at the time too, but then I heard her, I eavesdropped, and I heard her pretty much conversating with another person who had a mask on and shit. So I'm like, all right, these two mentally ill people having a conversation. And she was talking about like, man, all these young people don't have God, and they just think they could just be wherever and do whatever.
So she said that after giving you that stank face.
Yeah.
Oh, and she wasn't talking to you.
No.
Okay, so like if I like see that situation right there is like I would have probably like said something like not about what she said about God, but I would have been like, "Why were you staring at me?" and gave her a read. Like since she wants to talk about God and young people don't have God, I would have showed her because obviously the God she following is ain't the real God. So I'm gonna show you that I don't follow that God. So I would have gave her a piece of my mind. So go
Yeah, I
ahead.
know you would have for sure. Yeah, you have a different energy. You got that Aquarius, heavy Aquarius energy. But so and the Aries moon. So I was like, and I heard that, and I was like, damn, no wonder why she was staring. So she probably a old bitter bitch, probably alone, probably jealous that I'm here with somebody right now and shit. And I just got like low octave Sagittarius vibes because she was
Yeah.
like really just preachy about like she was just trying. She just had like this self-righteous energy, like she was God herself or some shit, and she could
I
just.
hate that shit. Like I like if I see people like that, I'll be the first one to make you feel like you're not shit. I'll like say like and like you it's when you deal with people like that who think they're righteous, I don't come up with them and I don't cuss them out because like there's different levels to deal with people. Because I have a lot of Aquarius stellium, so when it comes to like mind games and shit, I can tap into that shit. And I notice like certain people who think they're righteous, how you get them upset and angry, you don't cuss them out. You don't always bring that energy. You gotta come at them with intellect. Like when I
Yeah,
come at people with intellect, because like that's my strength. Like Aquarius stellium, especially
right,
Venus, Mars, etc. When intellect that gets them upset. Usually when I go on the graduate mode is when it's needed for that certain individual.
right.
But people who think they're holier than thou, I would just come and demolish them intellectually. Be like, bitch, you're
Right.
not shit.
And it's you're smart for doing that too, because that's what actually stumps them and like makes them have
Mm-hmm.
to do some form of self-reflection, even if it's on a small percentage level. Because if
Yeah.
you come to them too hard, those type of people too harshly, they're just gonna look down on you for or too like animalistically, they're just gonna look down on you for real.
Yeah.
Like, I noticed that.
Exactly. Or, exactly. Like, and I don't even care if they look down, but the thing is, I'm trying to get my point across that
Right,
you ain't shit. I'm not trying to confirm that because then you'll make them think that what they're doing is somehow right. Whereas, like, no,
right,
bitch, like you're really, and because I'll like tell them like straight up, like, don't. Because me, like in her example, I wouldn't cuss her. I would be like, you need to take responsibility for your life and stop projecting your anger onto strangers. I don't know you. I would have
right.
said something as simple
Yeah,
like that. And then I would have said it with a real aggressive manner, like take responsibility, whatever your name, like what's your name, whatever your name is, if you, especially if they have a name tag, call them by their name tag and talk to them like their mother would talk to them, and like be like, Jessica, you really need to take accountability and stop. You gotta speak like with authority like that. That's really gets to these motherfuckers because they'll be like, the fuck, like certain people I'll talk like that too. Certain people I'll cuss the fuck out, but it just depends on the energy.
right. And low key, bro, I almost wanted, I almost had the
Yeah.
urge to just be like, you do know it's rude to stare, right? Like I really wanted to say it, but
Yeah,
I just didn't give a fuck enough to be
yeah, just
honest.
no point. Like sometimes you just don't care. Like sometimes I just say fuck it. I don't even waste my time. I just whatever. Like they're not even worth my time. Like
Yeah,
yeah. Because the way you gotta look at it, like she's all talking about God in her life, and she's right. She does have God. She got that weak ass Jewish God. So
yeah,
she is walking with that weak ass energy. So that's why because if you really had God in your life, like God really, pretty much God led you to being in a laundromat, staring at somebody half your fucking age with resentment. Like that's where God led you. Like you don't have no happy experience in your life. You gotta look
right,
at your position. Shout out to Robert Haley. He's like, don't give a fuck about karma. But which is like, what about their karma? Like they don't give a fuck about karma because whatever I did to them, they manifested that. So people gotta look at it like if people since everyone wants to project, I'm gonna speak from that level. So if I'm such a bad person, it doesn't matter if I'm let's just say you think I'm a piece of shit. It doesn't matter. It's what's more important is you, what's in the mirror. So if I'm a piece of shit, why'd you attract me in your life? Let me be a piece of shit. The fact that you're arguing with me shows you that you're not happy. There's people out here living a prosperous, abundant life that is happy. Not even saying that you got to be rich and have a millionaire or not be in that environment, but you could have had a thought that was peaceful where you didn't even cross my mind. You probably wouldn't even see me there.
Right.
And I know most people are miserable because I remember I was at most people are stuck in their mind. And I want to just say this one thing and I'll let you go. I was at the mailbox. I was dropping my mail that I was going to ship something on eBay. And the lady came up to me. She's like, "Oh, I didn't even see this." You know those blue boxes where you put the mail in?
Right. Yeah.
Like the USPS mail. I put the mail in there and she's like, "Oh, I didn't even see this here. I've been coming here all these years. I didn't see it." And then in my mind, I'm like, "How you not see it's right here?" And there was another situation. The guy's like, "Oh, I didn't even see this." I forgot what, I think it was a store or something. He's like, "I didn't know this store was here. I come here every day." And I got this more than once. And in my mind, like, people are so depressed, they're so miserable, and they're stuck in their own trauma that they don't even see the environment. So people don't even have a clear physical vision. Fuck the third eye vision. Don't get me wrong, it's a first eye vision, but people don't, not let alone not having this. People don't even have this. They can't even see what's in their reality because they're in their mind.
Right.
It's stuck in their mind. So this is most people.
Yeah, man, they're not present. That's crazy you said that. Yeah, that's insane. But yeah. I don't have anything else to add, bro. I will leave you with this before I leave. Hell yeah, make some Chauncey Wan music, bro. I want to hear that shit.
For real, like me, I gotta get on. Like when it comes to writing, I can write some good shit, but freestyle, I still gotta work on my freestyle. But like I can write some good shit. I'm gonna probably make some because when I always thought about making music, it was always from a perspective like, oh, like to sell it and get big, all that program, like, oh, you gotta put on iTunes and be big and Spotify, and you can do that, and there's nothing wrong, but I want to make music just for me,
right,
and to help me through my shit. And anybody who wants to listen, they can listen, but it's gonna be songs what I want to make, not I want to make it because other people like it. And if you like it, then you like it. If you don't, that's any. Yeah.
To add on to that, it's funny you brought that up because there's I had a song idea that I think you're gonna fuck with this song because you inspired it. I want to make a workout song called Key Gong like Chauncey Wan. The hook is gonna be move your body, do that Key Gong, motherfucker, feel like Chauncey Wan.
For real, I would think about songs too, like I was trying to do like some Breatharian rap, be like, bitch, yo, like, I don't know, I just like this, I don't know, I do some like Breatharian rap or whatever, and be like, bitch, your pussy ain't vegan and it stink, I don't eat it, I'm Breatharian or something. I don't know, like, I just so much shit I'll come up with, like this, because I don't want to make like corn, like, because make it where it's like, I'm able to still speak about it, but it still sound clean, like you're able to mix the both of the world. They don't just because just because it's spiritual don't mean you have to sound corny. It can still sound good. So
right,
yeah,
I'm out, man. Hey, it was nice talking to you, bro. Keep
for sure. Yeah, anytime though. If I'm online, you always got a space to speak your mind on here. So yeah, for sure. Shout out to Moody Mercury. Yeah, it's good to be like. It's good to see good vibing people because it's funny. Like when you be around, because in my real, I'm not trying to say like, oh, everybody in my real life is fucked up, because I'm trying to get out of that thing. Like there's a lot of shit that I'm trying to do. I'm probably gonna be opening up a nonprofit pretty soon, but there's a lot of things I'm trying to really get up and start doing, like in real life. And yeah, there's a lot of fucked up piece of shit people out here, but you gotta understand, like, not everyone is out like that out here. Not everyone. Like there's people I meet that are still good people but it's very few. But like I said, they're still out here. And another thing is like this environment where I'm at is another issue. So I can't really put too much emphasis on shit because this city I'm in, I don't even need to be in. I'm on my way. Like only reason I don't leave the city because I got family like out of state, and I'm trying to go over there because they gotta let me stay with them, and I don't have to pay rent or nothing. I have so much shit over here, and it's gonna cost me. I'm not trying to spend $1,200 to get this car shipped, and I want to drive it, but I don't. At the same time, I don't. The car's in good condition; I can drive, but I don't want to just run up the miles on it. But I don't know. Like I'm just trying to get rid of a lot of shit because I have a lot of things here that I have to try to get rid of and sell on eBay. because I'm not trying to have a lot of shit there. So that's the only reason I don't just move, because I really want to get the fuck up out of here, but I just have so much shit where I'll need to get rid of and consolidate and sell, and then as much as I can. And if I can't, if it gets too much, I'm gonna just end up getting the fuck up out of here, because it will get to a point where if it's taking me too long to get rid of shit, I'll just get rid of it. Because we going into a shift right now, and I'm like, I was gonna go in January, but I was like, let me wait until at least June, July, because once June, July gets here, we're gonna be fully in this shift. So I'll be able to even see how the reality is gonna play out. Because it may be a situation where I may not even need to go over there, because the reality the reality is gonna be accelerating so fast, energetically, spiritually, and physically. I may be able to manifest a situation where I may not need to go out there, because we're going to be in a whole different energy manifestation. All of that shit is going to be amplified. And manifestation is only when you're living in a spiritual purpose and things come into alignment. Because we're in a time right now where it's air and it's quick, fire and air. So if you're in alignment, you're going to get all the things you need that much more quicker. You see what I'm saying? Like me, I like. Well, I don't really want to get into that. So, but I am going to eventually be moving out of here. It's way more better, like the other area. But at the same time, like there's certain things I want to do where it makes being out here better. Like there's a lot more people out here. I can go down to LA. I can go down to like Venice. There's so much people. If I want to start what I want to start, I have more networking to be able, and more like if I want to promote my shit, there's more people, there's more community and shit out here. So that's another reason where I'm thinking like, let me just stay to see if I can get shit going out here compared to over there where it's really not much going. So I'm gonna just see what's going on. But shout out to everyone in the room. Everything is intertwined. I don't want to say everything, but I see what you mean though. I feel you. A lot of things are intertwined. When it comes to a lot of these programs, a lot of these new age spiritual sayings, you guys got to be careful on because they'll be like, oh, the more you know, the more you don't know. Like dumbass shit. Like, first of all, who the fuck said you gotta know or not know something? How about you just experience it and then go based off your experience? Who the fuck says what the fuck is knowing or not knowing at the end of the day? At the end of the day, when you were born, you knew to open your eyes, you knew your heart to beat. So what is knowing and what is not knowing? Can't you say you know everything? And like it's all, and knowing is an English word. So you guys gotta just understand. Don't, they say everything's intertwined. I don't think everything's intertwined. I'm not intertwined with no bullshit. And if I'm intertwined with some bullshit, that means my life is suffering and I'm going through problems, and I'm trying to untwine out of that so I can be cut off from that shit to live. So everything isn't intertwined. But I feel you. I'm not deckheading. I just want you guys to think deeper and have your own mind. Don't, anything you see, you always got to question it. Your own heart is your judge of karma. Yeah, shout out to Jackie New. Like, yeah, most people operating on outdated energy, the word is lacking a sense of self, and their spirit is stuck in a weird, outdated space. Yeah, it's a lot of outdated energies out here. That's another thing with this. That's another reason why you're gonna see a lot of more mental illness. It's because people still participating in outdated energies. You got to remember, like, especially a lot of people are material. Right now, Pluto just went into Aquarius. And we got a lot where the sun's in Aquarius, and we had a lot of these planets in Aquarius and shit. So right off the bat, you guys got to understand, like, Aquarius, it squares Taurus. So people, right, like, if you have that Taurus energy, material, people, you caring about things within the physical, if you put too much emphasis on it, it's gonna play in you not either being fulfilled or you not getting what you want, or you not being able to get it. So if you're somebody who doesn't have money, you may not have the money to get the shit you want, or when you do have money, you get shit, it's not really fulfilling. You don't have enough, because we're in a shift right now where we gotta be, everything we do right now has to be
based upon something tangible that's gonna help us. When it comes to material shit and all that shit's out the window for right now. Maybe once Neptune gets into Taurus in the next probably 10 years, or I think it's 2040 or something, then you could start being more material at that point based upon all the shit we built. Because right now we're supposed to be building our shit. So by the time Neptune gets into Taurus, we're going to be in a situation where we all the work we're doing now, by the time we get there, we'll be able to live comfortably off what we already created and we have, whether it be emotional or physical, whatever. So, and then we got Saturn going into Taurus as well. So they get like, the reason I'm saying Taurus, because Taurus is outdated energy. Like the material, the physical, it's more so outdated. Like a lot of people are clinging onto the material. This is why the economy is doing bad. Things cost more money. This is a sign to detach. A lot of the shit that costs more money you don't need. People say, oh, chips are going up in price. You don't even need to eat chips. Everybody complains that it's unhealthy and has GMO chemicals, so why do you need to eat chips? And I'm not saying that's a reason for it to go up, but a lot of this shit you don't even need. If you just stopped eating this shit, you will save money. A lot of reasons people suffer is because they have a lot of desires. Desires is what makes you in hell. If you like something, that's hell. If you like chicken wings, you're in hell. Somebody who doesn't like chicken wings, they're not in hell. You may say, oh, they don't get to enjoy the pleasure of eating. Well, we can see the same thing for a drug addict. Do you say you want to take fentanyl? And does a fentanyl addict say you don't enjoy the heroin of getting high? You're like, hell no, I don't want to enjoy that. I don't want to enjoy that shit because it's fucking heroin. But for some reason, when it's other bad habits, it's a problem. If you can't afford drugs, or don't do drugs, it's a waste of your money. But you can't afford junk food and all this other shit. No one says eat less. And then people say, oh, who are you to tell people to eat less? I'm not telling you to eat less. I'm telling you to eat less or get your money up and stop complaining. That's what I'm telling you. And if you want to change, if you want the prices to go down, then at that point, it's going to take more than just one person bitching on YouTube. It's going to take thousands of people actively doing something such as not going to work, not paying taxes, not buying a certain product. Other than that, it ain't shit gonna fucking. So if it's not either of those three, shut up. Unless you're just talking shit on YouTube to get a paycheck and that's it. And at that point, why are you complaining? Because YouTube's paying your fucking bill. Like you'll see a lot. That's what I don't like about a lot of these people out here. Because one thing it is, like they had this one channel. This nigga, he works at 7-Eleven. This thing got like over 1 million subscribers recently, and he getting like a damn near 1 million views, if not 1 million views per video. And this nigga works at 7-Eleven. So they'll promote people like that who talk about nothing. And then you have other people in the comments like egging him on. And most of them are probably fake. But then I'm pretty sure there's one bum ass nigga who works at 7-Eleven that thinks that they're like this dude. Like, oh, I'm just like you. I work at 7-Eleven. I'm going to be on YouTube. So now we have a whole generation of fucking dumbasses trying to put their energy to become nobody. Like, you know how many Gen Z say, I want to be a TikToker. I want to quit work and be a TikToker. You quitting your job and being a TikToker, talking about, I'm not saying social media influences negatives. What are you talking about? If you're just going to make a TikTok video talking about, or make an Instagram or a social media platform talking about TikTok videos or talking about the economy, you're actually doing less work for society than you working at fucking Jack in the Box or a grocery store. You're doing more work working there because you're not doing nothing. So they want to create like a generation of people who have, because the only reason everybody wants to be big off the internet from doing nothing is because they see other people doing it. It's not like they just came up with this idea. They're seeing other people doing it. So you have a whole bunch of people who the only thing they're working on in life is to be successful doing nothing. Like they'll sit there and be like, since this guy works at 7-Eleven and he gets paid tens of thousands of dollars a month, I deserve to do that. And I need to do that. So now their whole mission in life is to build their success and to build their whole life of being successful talking about nothing. So now shadow work, healing, what's important, developing a good, all these things that a human being should be doing, developing their spirituality, knowing self, being authentic, learning how to develop their creative skill. That goes out the window so they could just start talking about what everybody else is talking about and think that they're owed money to talk about it, but they don't understand like the reason those other people are put in those positions is because there has to be at least one person to be put in that position to show you to be placed as a psyop to make you waste your time in thinking that life is a certain way. They have you have a fake illusion of what life is. Like a lot of you guys don't stand that shit. So now we have everybody that just wants to be on Instagram and shit. Like I remember this one, I was watching this TikTok video, and this stupid bitch was like, I just want to, I understand you want to quit, and yeah, you could quit your job and shit, but who said you got to quit and then be a TikTok? Why don't you just quit and work on self or do whatever? Like, I want to quit so I could be on TikTok. And then when you look at what she was talking about, she has no knowledge or no information. So pretty much you just want to get paid for doing absolutely fucking nothing. And then you can't blame them because they have examples on the internet of showing people every day getting paid for doing absolutely fucking nothing. So can you really blame somebody who's 18, 19, who wants to get paid not because like, they work in a shitty job having to do this and this person like, so you really can't. So it's like people's priorities are all fucked up and then they're wasting time. Like a lot of this is the reason why you have a lot of synthetic fake mental illness. Why me, like, let's just say you guys watching this video, you guys have problems and issues in your life. Most of those problems and issues are surrounded by you wanting to accomplish a certain thing and not being there yet, and your stress and your fight every day is to get to that, aka doing shadow work. Just like you work on shadow work and you working on getting knowledge to better yourself, you're trying to create your own music, create your situation, you're trying to save up. There's some people, their fight every day is to become on TikTok and have an influencer, or their fight every day is to have money to go pay for some Jordans. And since they don't have Jordans, like the same, like, you know how me and you were upset because this world's fucked up. There's people who are upset because they can't afford some Jordans, or they're upset because it's just something very stupid. They're not a fucking influencer talking about fucking something that's not important. If you want to be an influencer and you're not talking about health or trying to better people spiritually, or you're not doing nothing to help, then you don't need to be an influencer, motherfucker. I hope you feel like that shit. Got a bunch of fake ass mental illness in the world right now. Fake. All based upon things that aren't important. Even when it comes to politics and Donald Trump and all this dumbass shit, that shit is not important. Donald Trump is not. There's nothing that nigga says that's important. Everything that they say on the news is towards the people. They try to make the news like the people are in the way. The people are. It's your problem. It's the people's fault that no, bitch, the whole system wouldn't even survive if it wasn't for the people. But yet, dumbass people, they don't understand it. So they try to look like they act like these politicians are busy. These politicians have no fucking life. And I don't say that as in when I say they don't have a life, I don't say it as the same person as somebody who's like on the internet trolling. I'm saying they don't have a life because they got a bank account full of money and they don't do shit but sit on their fucking ass all day, and they have you, the average citizen person, do the work. Who the fuck is gonna file paperwork on Donald Trump's behalf or type up what he has to do? It's gonna be somebody who works for the system. It's not even the people really who control it like that. The people who control it hire people to write this shit, and the people who write the shit, they already know what to write because they hire people who will write scripts based on what the people who run the shit would say. And if you don't write the script the right way, then they'll get rid of you and put somebody. So they don't just nothing that they do at all. They just sit in their ass, and anything that they do is to keep you fucked up even more. So anything they do is to keep you fucked up. So facts, people for weird beliefs think that they don't have to develop principles. Most people don't even know that the principles, they wouldn't even know what the fucking term principle is, or even to even have them or not have them. That's how damaged a lot of people are. You guys got to keep that in mind. People, I feel like everyone operates on some type of moral and principle. I don't think you can really. Is it a righteous one or a good one, or is this some bullshit? Like a person who's like a criminal, or they have morals and principles. A serial killer has a moral and principle. Once the motherfucker enters that dungeon, they do not leave. So once a serial killer kidnaps you and you enter his dungeon, his torture chamber, you don't leave. That's a moral principle that he stands by. Because if he doesn't go by that moral principle, then the person who gets out and they leave and they're alive, they gotta go tell where the fuck the spot is at. So everyone technically has a fucking moral and principle. It's just, what is it really? A fucking roach has a moral and principle to scatter and run when the lights turn on so they don't get killed. It's just, you got dumbass people with dumbass morals and principles. That's the problem with these motherfuckers out here. Dumbass morals and principles. Like it just baffles me, because when I like come online and I see people, my audience, and I like all the work that I'm trying to do, and I see all you guys trying to do the work you're trying to do, and when I see people like this bitch at 7-Eleven who I cussed out, and all these other people that are low vibrational, even like the bitch that Mercury was talking about, who was still like, what's going through these people's mind? Like, why are they so angry? Why are they so upset? Like, you can say, oh, because the economy and all that, but when I say I fucking hate the economy, is on the basis of I don't like the control. A lot of people are just angry because they can't afford what they want to afford. They can't afford shit. And it's like, if that's your problem, then you're really fucking retarded, because it's easy to get to a situation. It's easier to get into a situation where you can afford than get into a situation where you can create the money and create the situation where you don't need to use the money and people are using your shit. So if that's your only angry, nigga, get your money up. The reason I fucking have a lot of anger and shit, not anger, but the reason I would say, I don't want to call it anger, but the reason I have more, let's just say anger. And the most people who speak spiritual like me is because they don't like the way this shit is. A lot of people who complain about the economy, they don't have a problem with all the bloodshed that happened to the Native Americans and how this system is a fraud and it's all fake. They don't care about that shit. They just care about that their box of Cheerios went up to $7-8. That's all they care about. And once it goes down to a certain amount and they can afford that their shitty life, because people act like in the 90s everybody was rich. Like, oh, we need to go back to the 90s. Like, you act like the 90s like niggas was doing it big. Niggas still was broke as fuck. Yeah, a fucking hamburger was $2, but the average pay was 40 grand, while the CEO was still making the same amount of money that an average person doesn't even make now. So it was never fucking good. America was never great, you fucking idiots. That's how you can tell the mental illness, because everybody talk about make America great. When was it ever great? Last time I checked, you slaughtering millions of Native Americans to even get this country, that was never fucking great. It's not great to slaughter people. So this country was never fucking great. It's fucking retarded. And you got dumbass black people complaining about, oh, we need this. Like, shut the fuck up, nigga. Like, if anything, like, when I look at all the black people complain about shit, I don't know, like, I don't even want to say it because I don't want to make it look like, because the way I look at it is like, based upon what happened to the Native Americans, it seems like all the black people that are complaining, they're like living off what the Native Americans got slaughtered over. So black people are in Hollywood, black people are in the NBA, black people are allowed to run up millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars in the hood selling dope. If you're really smart, you'll run up a bag, run up 100 bands, take the money and go. Like, so they gave black people opportunity to maneuver in the system. And then black people have the audacity to complain that it's a problem, whereas we had all this opportunity. You know how many black people I know ran up $100,000 in the hood? Whether it be people in the family, people my family knows, or niggas in the hood that I know, they run up money, whether it be 10,000, 50,000. Some niggas run up $1 million selling dope, the bigger ones. You mean to tell me you can't get all that money and create your own city, create your own shit? They give black people the platform to do. They give NBA all. So then black people complain about how it's racism. Ain't no fucking racism. If you want to talk about racism, it'll be racist to Native Americans and to spiritually racist based upon how you think. In terms of you being black, man, there's no such thing as racism. That's just a fucking fake ass thing. At the end of the day, any type of racism that I experience is no different than some, like, if a black person call me a bitch, that's disrespectful. If a white person call me a nigger, that's disrespectful. That black and white person, they still bum ass people. They still work at a corporate 9 to 5. They don't have shit going for them in life. So the white person ain't better than the black person. The black person ain't better than the white. They're just both niggas. And one white person, he's angry, so he's gonna say the N-word, obviously. The black person, he's not gonna say the N-word because he's black like me, so he's gonna call me a bitch. It's the same fucking shit. That's the most racism I've ever experienced. Any other shit you can say is racism, I don't know. It's a psyop. If I didn't experience it in real life, I think it's fake. It is a psyop on the internet. They killed Trayvon Martin. But yeah,
wasn't I heard Trayvon Martin, his dad was in masonry, and they showed a picture of Trayvon Martin's dad fucking taking a picture after his son got killed, and he had like a Masonic symbol or something. That nigga probably got paid off to take his son. I don't know what the fuck happened, but that shit's deeper than what it is. Because anybody anything that's not that important isn't gonna have that much media coverage. Trayvon's family, just off the media coverage alone, their family is probably millionaires based upon how this capitalism system works. So all that racism shit, it's all retarded. All the black people that go through racism that they put on the internet, they end up getting money. That ugly ass bitch, fat ass bitch who owns Black Lives Matter. Bitch, you complain about how they're not talking about Black Lives Matter. If you don't sit your stupid, gringy ass down, you dumb ass bitch. They gave your ass millions of dollars that you fucking stole and scammed out of dumbass black people, and they allowed you to do that shit, and they gave you that platform to even have that, and yet you have the audacity to complain about Black Matters. But then I get it because that's the reason she has those millions, is because she's complaining about a fake ass, non-existent, non-important problem such as Black fucking matters. There ain't no fucking Black matter. Anybody that's black that talk to me, there's a black issue, I'm gonna tell them, what have you done about it? If you have not done anything about it, then shut the fuck up about it to me, because I don't care about it. Because if there's nothing being done about it, you're ruining my day. Why would you tell me something I don't have a solution to? You're ruining my day. You're more of the demon than the motherfucking cracker out there that you want me to say is a problem. And he is the problem, but he's a problem to everyone, not just to a nigga. And then they want to say, oh, Trump got rid of the DEI. I had to look at what the fuck that shit was. And I guess it's something to do with like discrimination in the workplace. So they can only hire people. They made it where if you're women, disabled, or whatever, they have to hire you. And then when I looked at that, I'm like, how is anybody gonna even be able to even practice that DEI shit without it being corrupt? Because there's been places I've been to, because they said he just removed it when he got into office, but the last few years I've been into places where it was never any black people, and the people, they seemed racist. So that shit was really never in any effect. All of that shit was just a political thing to get people emotionally aroused. So now, oh, Trump removed DEI. But now, as a black person, I've never even knew that word existed, let alone that problem, because I never needed to work a shitty ass job. Because if you had a good job, they're not gonna that won't even really apply. But I didn't even know that. But now, since they say Trump said, "Oh, you need DEI," everyone wants to sit there and complain about how he's racist and how is this and that. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Nitch. I didn't hear your stupid nigger mouth say any fucking thing about anything. The moment a white person does something that doesn't even affect me, because I didn't even know what the fucking word DI meant. Now you want to say, oh, it affects me. Bitch, why don't you talk about the shit that affects everyone, including me? It's like, but they don't want to speak on that because there's nothing they can do about it. Or there is something they can do. But what they will have to do will take a large amount of people and a lot of work, and nobody can do that because based upon how everyone's ignorant. So they're going to ignore that fact. That's why I say ain't no black problems. Ain't no black race. Any type of racism will be towards Native Americans and what they did. Because if you look at it, ain't nobody fucking with Native Americans at all. And after watching that nigga's live stream, like watching Dolo's live stream a few times, I seen that shit. I'm like, when you think about, like, they don't do shit for the Native American. And at one point, I actually thought that all black people were Native American when I was watching all that Pan-African shit. So I used to think when they talk about Native American, it was black people. And then anytime somebody said it wasn't black, I used to be offended. But like, this was years ago. But it's like, that's how deep that. I'm not saying there's black people that don't have it in them. There's black people who have it, but it ain't just, oh, if you black, you have that. It has nothing to do with that. And there's some black people who aren't even connected to that shit at all. Or for a very small percentage where they barely, because if at that point you will say everyone has it in them except for the niggas who really colonize shit. And even them, because the people born right now, they have to at least have some in them. But that's the only racism I can really see is towards what Native Americans is, because they slaughtered them for this land. So all the resources on this land, the whole basketball stadium, they built that stadium probably on a certain point that maybe they had a tribe there, or they had something going on, that they just built some type of sacred structure, they destroyed that, they probably put a stadium there. Black people getting paid millions of dollars to play in the NBA, but they want to complain about black language. Shut those dumbass up to go play that basketball, nigga, and entertain.
Ain't no fucking racism towards black people. All I see is a bunch of black people that don't know what the fuck is going on, because every time when I hear something come out of a black person's mouth, it's always some racism. But when it's about anything else, it's not a problem. Like, I'll go to the fucking store, right? And every time, like, when I go to a store, when I used to go and, like, do a lot of my, like, running up and doing crazy shit, most of the time, like, when I wouldn't say most of the time, but a good amount of the time, it was black people that do the most. Like, I'm not saying other races don't do it, but black people, they go and above. Other races, they have to see you doing something or acting suspicious for them to be like, okay. So, but when it comes to black people, they act like they're your brother. That's one thing about black people. Like, they think that you're your fam. Like, niggas will talk to you, they'll get up in your space and they'll talk to you like they're your fam or they know you. That's one thing about black people. They talk to you like they know you. And I'm thinking maybe that's the reason why there's so much negativity in the hood and so many killings. And black on black, what they call black on black violence, is because the way black people think that they can treat each other like they know, like you know me or something. Like, you don't know me. Other races, I know they don't really do that know me shit. Like, maybe it's because they're scared because I'm black and black people are more, I don't know what it is, but they don't come up to me like that compared to a black person. They'll sit there and look at me more. They'll be more like the black bitch. I don't really cuss. Like, don't get me wrong. When I see, sometimes I be wanting to cuss a motherfucker out. But when it comes to black people, I try to at least be okay, they black. I'm not trying to, because we already go through shit more so. So I try to be cool, but then they get me to that point. I would rather cuss a motherfucker who ain't black out than a black person. But they do shit to get me, but the other people, they won't do shit, or if they have any problem, they just shut the fuck up and they don't keep it like that. That's why I say black people, there's something wrong with black people, really. And people will say, oh, you're talking about black people. Every black person on this platform damn near talks about black people. I went on like 3 other channels because people be reposting and sharing shit on my feed, and I be seeing shit on my feed. Every time I see it's about how black people or how black men and dating, and how black men and women, they don't know how to date, or there's always some negative shit about black people, but it's from the basis of how they want you to speak about it. So anything that they want you to speak about negative about black people, that's what they talk about, and it goes viral. But the shit that needs to be heard, that's the shit that doesn't go viral. That's the shit if I speak like this, they'll say, oh, you're just a self-hating nigga. But like, I'm a self-hating nigga, but yet damn near every black bitch I know got fucking weed, wearing weed. Don't make no damn sense. Like, my sister, she has her natural hair. My sister, she always will grow out her natural hair. That's why when I see it, I'm like, black people, they can grow out their natural hair, and it looks good when they grow it out. But you see all these other bitches, they just wear weed, but then they want to talk about how fuck the white man. But why are you wearing weed then? Why don't you grow out your hair then? It's just so dumb. That's why I say these people are really retarded. It just shows the mental illness. And I'm not saying all black women, but I'll say like 9 out of 10, like, especially when it comes to the older black women, like women that are probably like in their 50s or up, when they have weave, like a lot of black older women are very, they don't like themselves. There's very self-hatred. That's what they'll talk about, good hair. Oh, you got that good hair. Like, what the fuck you mean good hair, motherfucker? Like, that's how dumb. And it's always a black, and they're always one with the weave. When I see black females, most of, not all the time, because there's some black females who wear weave who looks good on, but that's usually when they have better energy, and the energy's different. But for the most part, like, most of these bitches, like, their energy's fucked up, and then they'll sit there and be talking about the white man and shit, or they be all negative, and then they be wearing a weave and shit, and you can tell, like, it's like they like, what are you confused? Like, do you hate the white man, or why you have the hair like them and shit? Like, it's so fucking weird. Shit is crazy. But like I said, nigga, like, if anyone has a problem with what I gotta say, I don't really care. Like, I'm just telling it like it is. I literally don't even come on here to just speak negative. Like, I'm actually trying to get out of that negative. That's why my videos aren't as negative as they were before, and I'm not gonna be putting that energy out here that as much, because there's really no need. It's not like, oh, it's bad. It's like, what's the point? It's not getting me nowhere, really. So there's no point of really doing it. I'm just trying to. A lot of it this is just how I express myself. Like,
And in this society, you really can't express yourself without people getting upset. And it's weird. It's hella weird because I notice like when you express, especially when you're around a lot of other niggas. Not like when I say nigga, I mean like men in general, not niggas. When you express yourself and you like kind of out there, people get offended by that. Like you guys may think it's everybody's cool. Like when you go out in public and you see somebody smiling in your face and they, oh, how you doing? People aren't cool. People aren't cool. What you got to understand is when you start expressing, like it always keep in mind when you're out in public. You see this video I'm talking about, I'm watching. You're watching. Ask yourself, the person I'm talking to in public, this person who's fake smiling in front of me, if they knew I was watching this video, if I showed them this video, if I showed them what was on my feed, would they still fuck with me? And I know my question, my answer, because I wouldn't fuck with them if I knew. If I see somebody watching too much of I Show Speed and not even too much, if anything much of that shit. If you watching I Show Speed, Kai Cenat, all these like these mainstream, these viral type videos, like if you watch too much of that, I automatically I can't take you serious unless if it's about business. Like I can't engage with you, I can't talk to you. So don't you think it's reverse? Like people, those type of people, they're not on your frequency. So if they see you watching this, they're gonna be like a certain way. Like this one stupid fucking piece of shit. This was years ago. I remember he's all trying to be cool, talking to me and shit. He's like, oh, do you watch the Mandalorian? That whatever that fucking shit was. Like, I don't watch that shit. I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch it. This was like years ago, back in like 2020, around that time. And then I was like, oh, you watch the Mandalorian? I'm gonna watch that when I get home and shit. And this is what I was kind of entertaining shit because I didn't really know to like nowadays I would just cut the conversation short and just say I don't watch it. But he was like, oh, I was like, yeah, I watch it. And he said, oh, I'm about to go watch this. And then he was telling me about that shit. Like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. And like the next day I seen this nigga, like he didn't remember who I was. But like when I seen him, I went to the store, he's all looking at me to see if I'm stealing and shit. And I wasn't even stealing shit, but he's all looking. But then the other day he was just like, he didn't remember who I was though. The other day he was all looking at me like trying to be cool with me and shit. So after that interaction, ever since that point, I've always had it in me that people are very fake and they're not really true and authentic. Like even like when you go into a store, every time they'll always say, like, you know, when we walk in the store, they'll say, hello, how are you doing? Like every time I go, like sometimes I'm not in the mood to talk and then I would just ignore them. The bitch told me hello and then I didn't say hello back. And then she's like, okay then. And I'm like, what do you mean, okay then? The reason that you have to say hello is because it's corporate policy. So if I don't respond, it shouldn't be offensive to you. So why do you care if I respond or not? So it just shows you like people just aren't shit. Like, so you telling me hi wasn't genuine. You just are telling me hi in hopes I'm going to get a reaction from you. Like it's all bullshit. That's why I don't really even like to do. I don't respond to like if it's not about business. I don't respond to it. And even to a point, like when I say that, don't you guys may think like when I say it's about business, it's about sometimes if let's just say if I'm not on business, let's just say I fucked up and I'm not on business for whatever reason, I'm still not talking to you because I'm not on business. If I like, because a lot of people, you gotta have respect for yourself and for other people who are in a vibration that you want to be in. So if you're not in a vibration of a certain area, then you can't expect those people to come at you. But at the same time, you don't entertain bullshit ass people. So you gotta like know yourself and know. So if you're in a state where you need to be in hermit mode and not deal with no one, don't deal with no one. Don't sit there and be like, oh, I hate these people, and then feel like you need this type of person. But then, because if you wanted this type of person or this type of situation, you were already attracted, or it wouldn't be a problem having. The fact you don't have it means there's some type of lacking that you have that you're not doing on self. So this is why you're attracting assholes, and this is why you're not getting good people. Don't force yourself, because you put yourself in a situation where and for me, I'm the type of person where, like a lot of people, like they will want to find somebody that isn't on their level. Like I'm the type of person, whatever level I'm on, that's the type of person I want. So if I'm in a situation that's fucked back in the day, if I was somebody like who was smoking and drinking, I wouldn't go up to somebody who's a friend or somebody I knew who doesn't smoke and drink and get them to smoke and drink. If I was around somebody and then I smoked and drank and they didn't, I would not want to hang around them. If I was smoking and drinking and I was around somebody and they were trying to quit smoking and drinking, I would not be their friend no more. I'm not the type of person, oh, keep drinking, keep drinking. No, I've always looked at life from an abundant mindset. If if you're my friend and you were drinking and smoking and you don't want to drink and smoke, there's thousands of people that drink and smoke. I'm gonna find them, and that's how I live my life. And me living my life, the universe has told me there's always somebody for you. You may say, oh, this girl left me because whatever. Find another bitch that's gonna be better. There's a million people out there. This person won't lend me $1. Go find somebody else to lend you $1. That's one thing about life. You always gotta adapt. You always gotta move. When you adapt and you move, they can't fuck with you. Even when I was stealing from these stores, the reason a lot of people were getting caught because they were doing the same routine. They'll go into the same store and they'll do it the same way. I'm not telling you guys how I did my shit because I don't want to promote anybody to do anything because the method I was doing, it was I wasn't getting caught and shit like that. So I'm not gonna promote anything, but people they were doing it the same way. Like people I knew they would get caught and they're like, how you go on for so long? Like, because nigga, you gotta move at random because human beings are stupid. Human beings can only see patterns. They can't see a pattern in randomness. It only takes a real spiritual, true being to be able to do that. Most of these niggas, they can't see that. So they do the same thing. They go, oh, this person doesn't want to do this. They go and keep trying to get that person to do that. Whereas there's thousands of people that can do that. Like Nature Boy shit. Like, funny thing. He remember how he had his team and everybody was all throwing up the 3 and doing the salute. Everyone's like, oh, he's in jail. He can't do that shit. And remember, he went to jail and he was on camera. He had the whole people behind him doing the same fucking thing. Wherever you go, there's an energy. And this nigga was in jail and he was able to manifest the same thing he was doing. Maybe not the same, but it was the same. So imagine you in real life. Then take that with everything, with money, with your happiness, with health, healing. There's always more than one way. If something not working, try to go at it another way and always switch up. Even if you're in a good mood, like let's just say you're doing something illegal and you're making a lot of money. When you're at your peak and everything seems good, that's when you want to switch up and probably just stop operations. Especially if you're doing really big and then move around and move or do something, or you got to move at random. Don't have a plan. And that's what throws this system off because the system is based upon this. Even science is based on repetitive. That's how they come up with a theory. They see something in nature happen sequential over and over and over and over, and it just repetitive. And that's a theory. That's why theories change because eventually the thing didn't happen no more because the universe. Because one thing about the universe, something may happen for 20 years over and over, but then 20 years later, it changes. This is why science theories change and all this dumbass shit, because these niggas don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You're supposed to do everything at random. When you do everything at random and maneuver and switch it up, then that's how you last the longest. Like even my content, you see my content back from 2021 to now, it ain't the same content because I let life and my experience within life be my content. I don't just talk about what's on the fucking internet. I talk about what I'm going through every day. the energies that we're in, the shit. So, and plus I have a lot of Aquarius, so it's easier for me to do that. I have an Aquarius stellium in the 6th house, so it's easier for me to always maneuver and come. This is why I'm able to like tell you guys shit that's coming in the forefront. Like a more innovative or like my shit in terms of like my mind, even like with this whole YouTube shit. Remember I told you guys back in 2023, November 2023, when I made that video, I said YouTube is fake. It's all a bunch of agents. It's not real. It's all. I was just telling you like it is. I knew this shit was a fucking joke around that time, and then ever since that, I haven't been taking it serious. And it's funny how we coming into this time right now. Most of the people that you see that are bigger influence, they're not anybody that you see that's speaking spiritual truth, they're not even really pushing this agenda shit no more. They're not pushing YouTube is the thing. Everyone's trying to make their own platform at this point. And to be honest, I feel like that's what's gonna happen. YouTube is gonna I see YouTube dying. Everything in this reality, it has a birth, death, it has a birth, fall, death, and then there's like a cycle. So everything within life. That's why things decay and break down. And it doesn't even have to be decaying and break down. It could just be you could build a car that lasts forever, but it's still going to go through that process, and it may not decay, but something's going to happen where it's going to get damaged and broke. Like somebody might just come and break it. It's still part of the process. So that's what I'm saying. Everything is part of the process, and YouTube is coming down. I could kind of see the energy kind of dwindling because they did so much bullshit on YouTube. Like they did so much like manipulating and corruption and playing with numbers. Like nobody takes it serious no more because you can only do it so much, and they were doing it so much because in a way, like they feel like they have to do it. Like they don't have to do it, but you got to look at it like it's like a person who likes to rape women. They're not supposed to rape women, and it's not right to rape women. But in their perspective, they feel like they have to rape women. Why do they feel like they have to rape women? Because they won't. They just want to do it. There's no reason, really. It's the same with these Masons. Like, there's no reason for them to manipulate the shit, but in their perspective, they feel like they need to do it. And in a way, when you are vibrating so low in hell, and you are so much of a demon, you will feel it's necessary to do demonic shit. And if you don't do that demonic shit, you will feel pain. But it's not my fault you got yourself to that low of a space where if you don't do demonic shit, you're gonna feel pain. That's your own fault, bitch. And don't mean you can do it. So that's where they at. They feel like they have to do it because if they don't do it, they're gonna experience certain things that are negative. So it's like a life or death situation for these bastards because they're so scared of them losing all their ancestors built up all these fucking years. Which is like, bitch, whose fault is that, motherfucker? Like, nobody told you to go and kill a bunch of Indians and take this shit over and then just to have it and be scared to lose it. Because, bitch, you can't really think you're going to keep it forever. And that's another thing. Black people talk about, we need type of liberation. I'm like, what black people need to do is not complain about liberation and actually build something. Because if the white person gave you this land and gave you all the things that come with it and money, I don't think black people want that spiritual karma that's gonna come with it. Because if white men say we're gonna give a whole system to black people, now all of that energy from the Native Americans, all that karma is gonna not only be to the white people, but it's gonna be to the black people. So like I said, you don't want to do that shit. Like black people, they don't know what black people need to do. What people need to do in general is just build their own shit and live righteously. You don't want to get what this cracker got because they got it unjustly. Unless you're gonna get what they got and you're gonna rectify the mistake that was made, which I doubt niggas is gonna do that. But like I said, YouTube is going down. YouTube is going down, and I can see it coming. And there's gonna probably be another platform that's gonna take its place, and hopefully that doesn't get compromised. But at this point, really, the internet is compromised. If too many people start speaking too much truth on this internet, they'll just shut this whole fucking internet down. So in reality, you can't even really win on the internet. He said YouTube is dying in what sense? I'm talking about as a reputable platform. I'm not talking, obviously, if you want to watch fucking Paw Patrol and fucking a cat playing a piano and retarded shit, okay, it's this content. I'm talking about as a reputable place to get real information, spirituality, knowledge, self-healing. You may say that's not important, but it is important because if you keep censoring certain shit, then eventually another person's going to create a platform and all the people are just going to go to that platform. And then even the people who are on YouTube, like there's this one channel, he talks about MGTOW and he talks about women, and he doesn't talk about spirituality or nothing. He even talks down about astrology. He just said don't date a woman who's into astrology. So he doesn't believe in it. And he's saying they demonetized him for like a month and they fuck with his numbers. He used to be at 500,000 views per video. Now he's on, because he was saying he's shadow banned. And I was like, nigga, you ain't shadow banned. You get 10,000, 20,000 views per video. But his old video, he was getting like 500,000 views. So even there's people who aren't even spiritual who are going through problems when it comes to this platform. Don't think it's just people who are spiritual and who speak truth. There's people who don't even speak truth, who speak about MGTOW. Because it's about it's not about what you talk about, it's how you talk about it. So you could be talking about MGTOW and say astrology is dumb, but if you talk about it in a certain way, they're going to still fuck with your channel. That's what they're doing to a lot of platformers and shit. They're demonic. People get demonetized every day who don't talk spiritual because they didn't speak a certain way. There's only so much they can do. And then say, when I say YouTube is probably going to be like a Netflix in the future. What's going to happen is they're probably going to charge you to use YouTube every month. Because I wouldn't be surprised in the next 5-10 years there it's going to cost money to use the internet, like to go on social media, especially when they release 5G, 6G, or 6G, 7G, and Web 3.0 or 4.0, whatever the fuck it's called. They're probably going to charge money to use the internet. And they're probably going to even charge money to use platforms like YouTube and shit. And at that point, that's when it's going to be heavily, heavily controlled. They're going to make the internet more controlled. And by that time, people probably still using it, but what are they using it for? Is it going to be just like another Netflix? Because YouTube was meant for the people to speak their mind. Never forget that YouTube was supposed to be, we don't want to watch TV because they censor everything. I'm going to come on YouTube and speak my mind. That's YouTube. They're removing that from what it is. So eventually it's either going to fail or it's going to end up pretty much being like Netflix or Hulu. Everything's going to be like Mr. Beast. You see that fucking dumbass shit, like 2,000 people competing for $1 million, like some fucking Fear Factor. No one wants to watch that dumbass shit. And the people that you may think they do, because the views, but most of those views are fake. Probably like 500,000 people, if even that, watched it, and then they boosted up to like 3 million. Like a lot of the videos you see that have a 3 million, 4 million, a lot of them don't even get a million views. Maybe they get like 900,000 or some shit, or maybe it got a million, but then they make it go to 7 million. People ain't watching as much as this. I mean, you may say a million's a lot, but if a million is so much, or why do they gotta inflate it over more? Like a lot of these things are inflated. And a lot of these views, they're not even really like they're not authentic. Like they're not real. Most of them are by like they're bots. And even when you see like a lot of these pages are watched by children, watched by kids, especially when you see a platformer that has millions of subscribers, 9 out of 10 times that's an audience with a lot of children. This is why when you have like a lot of videos, they'll say, oh, your video can't be seen by under 18. And you may say, who cares? It's under 18. But if you're trying to reach, if you're like somebody like Mr. Beast, he has a lot of kids watch his shit. So I remember like when that Jake Paul nigga did that suicide shit, my uncle has 2 kids. I have 2 cousins. My uncle, he came, he's like, oh, you can't watch. Because my cousins, this was years ago when that shit happened. My uncle's he's like, he went to his kids, he's like, oh, you can't watch I think it was Jake Paul, whatever these fucking faggots name is. I guess because he did some suicidal shit in Japan. He's like, you can't watch this video no more. So a lot of these people who watch these people's channel, if they fuck up, a lot of these parents are gonna be like, you can't watch this shit no more. You can see and then this is where you can see their views drop, because most of the views by people who have millions of subscribers are children. Like who are the millions of people watching them? There has to be kids. Ain't no grown adult watching that, somebody like that. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure people watch it, but when you see that many views, those are children. Mr. Beast, a lot of children watch him. Gaming streaming platforms, a lot of people watch that, children. And once those kids get older, they're not gonna want to watch that shit. So if they don't evolve and stay, and people aren't having kids now, so in the next 30, 40 years, there's not gonna be that many children. Because nobody wants to have kids in this economy, in this society. There's going to be some kids, but it's not going to be as much as it was back in the day. Like, there's not going to be that many 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds in the next 50 years, in the next 30 years, because everyone's going to be an old fuck. So yeah, YouTube is dying as in what it was supposed to be. It ain't that no more. The platform is dying. It's done. They're gonna have to turn it into something like Netflix, where they charge money and they're gonna have a whole bunch of series on it, and pretty much that's what it's gonna be. And plus, YouTube is not really working as they intended to. Like right now, they're trying to use YouTube as a way to create a narrative, like because nobody pays attention to the news. Nobody watches Fox. Nobody watches CNN. So if nobody watches Fox and CNN, they still have to do what Fox and CNN was meant to do as a platform, which is to keep people asleep. But they have to do it with YouTube now. So this is where you start seeing influencers being compromised, demonetized, because they have to do that leverage thing. Like when you work at Fox, you sign a contract, and they'll sue you, or they'll probably kill you
or do something to make a scandal if you don't do. Like that Tucker Carlson, they had a rape scandal on him, and then you had the faggot Don Lemon. They have some weird shit on him. Like they always have something on you just in case if you start speaking out, especially if you're an anchor man, and they have something for you. So since that shit is dying off, they have to do it with YouTubers. And now since a YouTuber, they don't give a fuck about anything else but demonetization. That's the only way you can get somebody to shut up is demonetization. For the most part, sometimes it doesn't even work, but at that point, they're just going to get rid of, because it just, you guys don't understand. There's a lot of shit that they're doing on YouTube that they're going to probably be doing, that they can do. You got to always keep that in mind. Like, every time when my channel gets banned, it says, your channel's been banned. You cannot make another video on another platform, or it's called circumvention, and we could ban your channel. But then I see other people do it, and I did it, and they never banned my channel. I'm not saying they can't, but the fact that they have that rule means they leave it there. So in the future, they'll be able to pull one of the tricks out of their hat, like pull it from. You see what I'm saying? Like they pull one of the tricks from out of the bag. So if too many people start speaking up and talking too much shit, let's just say everybody was on some spiritual shit like this, then they'll start going into their terms of policies and bringing up all these policies and these shits that were already there since the beginning, but they're going to just start enforcing it more. That's what they're going to be doing. Like, there's other things that they used to do before. Like, even like when you start seeing, like, on YouTube, you used to be able to comment on everybody's video and everybody's seeing your comment. Now, when you leave a comment, it disappears. It's because they don't want, and it only disappears on small channels. If I'm interacting on a small channel, my comment most likely won't appear. I would say 8 out of 10 times, or at least 7 to 6 out of 10 times. 6 to 7 out of 10 times it won't appear on a small channel. But if I go on a big channel, I can leave the most disrespectful comment and it's still there. It's because they don't want engagement on smaller channels. They only want them on big channels, because big channels, they already verified and vouched, so they can be there. So like, they're playing so many games and nobody says anything about it. Like, why isn't nobody talking about how they remove comments? Why not? Like, shit like that. They didn't used to do that on YouTube. When did they start doing it? You don't know. All of a sudden, one day, they started doing it. They started doing it once shit like the pandemic and all these topics of discussion and people speaking about certain shit relating to the system. Because what happened at first was back in 2016, 2017, 2018, it was a lot of people on that fake new age shit, because we just went into Pisces, Neptune and Pisces, and we were in that shift. So infinite nigger waters, people like that, and people who spoke like him were getting like a lot of traction. And they thought they had everything solidified, like all these stupid niggas. They think everything comes from Africa. They think fucking the stars are, there's actual fucking stars in the sky, and they thought all this, and they had to solidify. But you see how we in a different shift. And then people are starting to get the truth. Like, the stars aren't stars. That's a fucking satellite. Not to mention what all this shit about the food industry, the health, fasting, abundance, like all even like the new age shit. A lot of that shit starting to be debunked. Not that there's no such thing as spirit, but how they were pushing it. People are starting to realize this has a lot to do with this Neptune and Aries energy. A lot of this Aries after all this time, everyone was all like, oh, everything's spiritual. We're spirit being living in the human body. Now we're coming into a time where all that shit, nigga, we ain't spiritual, bitch. We having an experience. That's it. If you want to say you're spiritual, that's something you create in your own brain. What the fuck, when you die, what are you gonna say? Oh, we going to the spirit realm? What is spirit realm? It ain't. It's this place, nigga. You're existing because your true essence is nothing. So if your true essence is nothing, anything you're aware of and conscious of, it's something of the mind. It's something that you created. So where people are starting to realize that none of that shit is what it is. At the end of the day, there's only this experience. We're having an experience. If you want to call it spiritual, whatever, you can call it spirit realm, but that's the word that you put on it. But in reality, none of that shit really means shit. And you can see it play out in people's life, because all of these people that were on the bandwagon, all these people this is one individual I knew. He's into spirituality. This was years ago. I'm not going to put his name out there, but he used to watch my channel, and he used to be on my other channel. He probably still watches it. I don't know, but this nigga had like a unk, and he would talk about spirituality and meditating. Oh, I meditated this and that.
And then fast forward right now, go on this nigga's Facebook. He deleted his YouTube channel, which I don't know why. He had like over 1,000 subs and people fuck with him. He deleted his YouTube channel, and on his Facebook, he just works at fucking Kroger's and shit. And he just is like a regular bot, and he talks about Jesus Christ. So this is what I'm telling you. If you're not careful, you're going to be making these dumbass mistakes and get yourself in a situation you don't need to be in because you don't want to take accountability and do the work because you may not know you even need work to do. Because all these people who were into the new age, this is why they go back to Jesus Christ, because they realize that there ain't no such thing as spirituality like they thought it was. What they thought was spirituality was just a fantasy. It's a delusion, aka Neptune and Pisces. Neptune and Aries, spirituality is what the fuck you're doing, what the fuck you have, what you trying to accomplish and build. If you're not onto that, it's a wrap. This is why people like Infinite Water is like, he's gonna have to go get his stock portfolio up or some shit and make money doing something else, because him talking about spirituality isn't gonna get him nowhere at this point, unless he starts talking about how I'm talking. Because Infinite Water can still get this, because when he's talking about shit that's a little touchy, his numbers do go up. But the thing is, if he's talking about shit that's too touchy, he's gonna just get shadow banned. And he'll get shadow banned. They'll probably end up doing something to him. I don't think they'll, because he's too big and the way he is, if he just switched up too much, they'll probably end up doing something. They'll make a scandal on him or something. But I think I'm gonna end this live stream, guys. This is a good live stream. I like to speak and make video, but it's like 2 hours in, 2.5 hours in, and most people probably won't watch the whole video because it's too long and shit. But this is a good live stream. I'll probably be back a little. I'll be back a little later today. I'm gonna be starting my fast tonight. If any of you guys want to join my fast, I'm gonna be starting my fast tonight. And I'm just gonna keep going until I feel like stopping. But however you guys like, any fast that I do, I'm not setting any amount of days. Go until you feel like eating. And I don't want to tell you guys to go and try to kill yourself or whatever if you feel like, because I'm not gonna tell you guys, because you want to end it whenever you feel that your body is asking for it. So whenever your body says it, end it. But I don't do days. I don't count days. I don't do any of that shit. So I'm gonna be starting tonight. If anybody wants to join, and I'm gonna go on. I'll either go live every day, or I'll make a post saying like how my day went. But I'll probably try to go live every day. But peace out to everyone. And he said dry fast. It really don't even matter to me, to be honest. Like they say dry fasting is better. It depends. Like if you're a beginner, there's really no need for you to do dry fast. If you're a beginner, there's really no need. Like do a water fast. It's more easier, and you're still getting the same healing benefits. As for what I know, once you're advanced and you want to go on a deeper cleansing level, then dry fast is better. But most of you guys aren't even there yet. There's people who've healed cancer, disease, sickness, illness with water fasting. So don't think, oh, it has to be dry. No, you can heal. I was fasting back in 2020, 2021. I was fasting the whole year 2020. I fasted every single week for at least 3 days at the minimum. Throughout the year 2020 and the first half of 2021, I was consistent. I was still fasting after, but not as consistent as though that year. So I've done dry, I've done water, and they work the same in terms of like, it's the same shit. It's not no quicker, at least for me, from my experience, it's the same shit. So it does not really matter. Once you get on a deeper level and you start getting these water fasts, then you may want to do dry fast. But by the time you do dry fast, that's something your body's gonna ask for. You're not even gonna like to drink. Like me, I don't even like to drink water really like that. When I drink water, like I don't even get thirsty like that. And the only time I get thirsty is if I don't drink water for like, if I go on a dry fast for like 3 days or 4 days, then I start getting thirsty. But even if I go on a dry fast for 2 days, I don't even get thirsty like that no more, because I really don't even like water like that. Like water doesn't even like satiate and fill me up at all, unless I'm on like a 3 day plus dry fast. I don't get any satiation feeling off water. I don't even get thirsty unless I'm on a dry fast. And if I do drink, it's like juices or some shit. I could drink juice, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna end this fast, guys, and I'm gonna hit you guys up later. I might come back on a little bit later today, but I'm out. Peace.